go. Here we go. It's gonna be a short stream today. I'm just gonna play this tournament. Hopefully win with high elves, beat corn. And then we're goodies. Trying to work off this here headache. I got a Tylenol. So it should be gone in a bit, hopefully. Alright. I'm the one hosting the tournament today, by the way. Very exciting. Alright, so who's checked in? Everybody checked in? Let's double check. Scarbrand Chan and Duck Viking are not checked in. Let me hit him up with the message. Let's see here. Corsair. Bigger fish. At Duck. Remember to check in. All that. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's not an SFT, it's a 5-faction tournament. Oh yeah. Well, it should be fine. I'm still high elves times 5. Karavdir, what's up? High elves again, yeah. I want to get my high elves to like a pretty high level, especially because it's basically hard mode. It's like hard mode Kislev or like hard mode Empire. Oh, is my chat working? Should be working. Let's see here. Alright, let's have these guys check in. Don't want to run too late though. If they don't make it, they don't make it. Maximillionaire too has got to check in. Remember to check in. Last minute signups. Maximillionaire is still not checked in. Best of luck and have fun, thank you. Okay, nice. Chat's working. I think you have a lot of fun when the DLC drops. High elves are gonna... Oh yeah! Yeah. That's true. New high elf units? Yo. This is a perfect time to master high elves then, isn't it? Goblins. Round 1. We're up against Pontim's Claw. Yo, yo. Wait, why's my game not showing? This whole time? It should pop up in a second. Come on. Come on, OBS, you got this. Set to Warhammer 3. Come on. He's Dark Elves times 5. I'm High Elves times 5. For the jokes. Yeah, High Elves and Norska. Honestly, I rate them pretty low. So, it'll be real interesting to see them get used more often. Imagine they're actually meta. Okay, what's up with my OBS, bro? Where's the game? There we go. Just took ages. Alright. Alright. What's the first map? First map is... Chateau Rockfort. Alright. That's a good map for me. Some people saying it's vampire counts? Really? It's like no signs that it's going to be vampire counts. Oh, unless you talk about Vampire Coast. Vampire Coast is VP. It's VP, people. Alright, so Cold One Nights. Cold One Nights, big issue. Eltharian to Chad. Hmm. You know, I really like the Archmage of Metal. But I feel like Eltharion just brings so much to the table. I feel like he's just better. Is it just me? Also, I'm really hoping I face Khorne today. I need my revenge. How do you spend your money? So Rockfort's a nice big map. Obviously, I'm gonna kite. Another Elgi scheme. We didn't get any Dark Elves in the semifinals in the last tournament, right? How unfortunate. Let's see here. Dark Elves. It's a matchup where a Frostheart Phoenix is good. Yeah, it definitely slows down their cavalry. That part's pretty hype. This is kind of a matchup where... I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this matchup. So, like, yeah, he's gonna have way better cavalry than me. That much is for sure. Okay, I definitely need this spell. Overall, my composition is, I'd say, only okay. Nothing too crazy. If he was to try and go full anti-kite, what would he have even? Imric. Imric is hype, but probably not. Probably no Imric. Okay, let's see here. Sisters of Avalorn are a real interesting one. Once you get ahead, Sisters of Avalorn could actually be a really nice finishing tool. Because as long as they never get dived on, it's just a free win, right? Hey, Gideon, what's up? Elithanar, if only he was good. But he ain't. He ain't good, man. Anyways, I'm gonna be low energy today. Low energy because headache. Hey. Spearman ROR. I don't even know what the High Elf Spearman ROR does. Never listen to me unless I say Krokor Vlad. Could it be good versus Hell Cannons and Chaos Dwarves? Nope. If you want to deal with trains and such, Elithanar, he doesn't even have homing shots, man. What does he even have? I don't know. Ready? Good luck, have fun. Alright, so I want to perfect my kite playstyle. I want to go old school Zyphos strategy. And basically kite every game. And even if people expect you to go kite, you can still win it. That's the goal. Warm One Knights, the new High Elf unit. Spoilers, I can't talk about that on this stream. Anger issues, that's what Elithanar has. Oh boy, poor Elithanar. Hasn't been, he doesn't have like a net like Marcus. Marcus is pretty cheap and has a net. Elithanar's bow shot, it used to be taken, but I think it got nerfed at some point. It just doesn't, or maybe it's because of the increased entity size of artillery. You can't really use it to snipe artillery much anymore. Alright, so 13 units, a healthy amount of dudes. I just gotta keep my skirmishers safe and sit on one capture point and slowly kill him. He has... This guy's running buff spells. This is not the buff spell tournament. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That makes her really expensive, doesn't it? Don't know how I feel about that. Especially when we have an arcane unforging on his face soon. Crap, I summoned them in the wrong area. Every single time. I assume he's looking at these Dark Riders. And he's like ready to dodge with them. Yeah. So, good thing I didn't get a full volley there. Anyways, we're just gonna unforge his face. March up with these guys. And just get some close shots so he can't dodge. Dodging my shots is very annoying. We took a little bit of a volley from his Dark Shard shields. That's okay, though. Eltharion has healing and all that business. So we should be okay. It's another pretty good volley. We're just going to slowly work his spearman down. A lot of his guys are out of position as he's trying to manage these flank situations too. So overall, I'm feeling pretty comfy. I just got to get ready for the Cold One Nights, and that means saving up for Fireborn. Overall, though, damage is looking pretty fine. He's going to dodge with these guys. Failure to dodge. Takes a little bit of damage. Good to see. Good to see. Oh, we got a couple harpies. Dang, so he called my bluff. If I had Tempest here, it'd be pretty brutal against these harpies, but nope. Eltharion's gonna take a lot of damage too. I don't want to waste all my magic on healing, but you gotta do what you gotta do. In the meantime, I'm just gonna just keep bullying him here. I will have my Dragon Princes soon, and his chariots are actually really out of position. The fact that they're also getting slowed down is a really bad time for them. If I just get my Fireborn here, potentially that could just be all of these guys dead. Now, he is getting a pretty nice dive on my range units right now. Should be able to just kill his harpies at least. There we go. Okay, so that's one harpy unit just straight dead. I'll take that. That's a glorious time for me. And then with the chariots going down, I should just have enough of a value lead where I don't have to worry too much. We're just gonna keep on pulling back, retreating. Eltharion's just gonna clutch it out. Flock of Doom's gonna be no issue. And already, I think we have a pretty nice advantage. You did debuff these guys with the Curse of Onrir. Is that a big deal? Absolutely not. Because, oh dang, wait, Eltharion's gonna die. Yeah, the spell's already basically gone, so who cares? Who cares? Just make sure Eltharion doesn't die and we're good. Oh, did I forget his bombardment? I think I totally forgot his bombardment. Well, that's a little bit of a misplay, but this mosh pit over here is going exquisitely for me. And with him losing a unit of harpies and all that, is probably gonna be the end of him. I just have to be a little careful with good old Eltharion here. He's on full retreat, but his archers are fairly undefended. I think we'll be able to just jump him soon. Eltharion shall survive. And then with a lot of cav summons, I think we're good here. He's committed all his cavalry into my back line, so there really shouldn't be much else for him to take out, right? Those are Cold One Knights. Dragon Princes should annihilate him. Eltharion lives. Amazing. Okay, what does he want to do now? I guess kill that Manticore. Yeah, Dragon Princes killing the Cold One Knights. Hell yeah. Yeah, love to see it. And then with the value trading going my way now, if I just summon the Sisters of Avalorn, then we're good. This is a tournament, so this is not quick play. This is a proper tournament where, yeah, where we're in round 1 currently. But yeah, I would really like to get the Sisters of Avalorn here. Sisters of Avalorn will be able to clean up so well. Oh, there's a Doomfire Warlocks coming in. Okay. As long as I get a surround on them, we're good. He does have a triple cap. Oh, worst time for his passive to trigger. Like half of his army is just... half his army is just routing, man. Alright, come on, sisters. There we go. So the reason Sisters of Avalorn are so good here is because with a smaller army, there's essentially nothing you can do to stop them from shooting. They basically have free range. And that's gonna screw him pretty bad. He casts Soul Blight on me. Dude, he went all in on the debuff spells. That's crazy. What a mad lad. I don't think any of his spells did like anything. Oh boy, that's terrible. Again, I didn't even notice them, man. What they even do. Alright, let's not give them any slack though. That's how I lost the last tournament. I gotta play this one out properly. And make sure that that we don't throw. Because when you're kiting, you're always at the risk of just getting murdered. Kiting will run into a lot of issues where, you know, you're up trading, you got the value, but then like they just stuff you up and then you fall behind, you lose. We ain't about that today, all right? Try hard city. Looking forward to the Chimera. What's it gonna do though? What faction is the Chimera on? Is it a Slaanesh thing or what? You can tell I'm not really looking forward to it. Honestly, a lot of factions already have big single entities. Oh, I guess it'd be for Norska. Yeah, it's Norska. Okay. Anyways, like Norska already has infinite single entities. Unless it brings something to the table that the Mammoth doesn't. Or like Skin Wolves, but like Norska, okay, yeah, maybe they have a little bit of a rough time when it comes to sorry, one second. They have a bit of a hard time. Well, when it comes to their single entity duels, but like Skin Wolf Wear can basically get the job done anyways. So I don't think the Chimera really brings much more than whatever Skin Wolf Wear can bring to the table. I don't know, man. But hey, you know, as long as it's not super OP, maybe I'll have a cool ability. Breath attack, regen, and poison attacks. They already got the dragon though. I feel like a frost dragon would be basically, you know, a better thing than having a whole separate unit, right? Also, Altharian's gonna get shot to death. Is there anything I can do to prevent that? He can dodge. Just a wee bit. Come on, kill that lord. Killing the lord's just a stretch goal. Beat her up. Oh dang, she routed him. Oh man, what a trade. What a terrible trade. Alright, anyways, this match is still super over. Now that I've actually recaptured my points. Although Altharian is dead. He's gonna get chased down by these chariots, but like... There's no way the chariots do anything. Alright, as much as I said that I'm try-hard city today. There's no way we lose this one now. Absolutely no way. I still have loads of value, loads of ammunition on my skirmishers. We'll be fine. Maybe a Mortis engine with its tail. Okay, a Mortis engine for Norska would be cool, but like everyone's just getting a Mortis engine now. I want Warriors of Chaos to just become. I want Norska to just become another Warriors of Chaos. I feel like, yeah, I feel like that's not very exciting. He's gonna go for me. He's trying to dodge. Still takes a whack load of damage though. Medium range shots on these guys is brutal. Oh, he's going in. He's going in for the big plays. Oh my god, no dodge though. Brutality. All right, so yeah, he's just trying to dodge with the chariots like crazy. There goes one. There's the capture point. And then I'll just get some cavalry. But this match is super over. Barring an extreme misplay of epic proportions. I would need a real bad misplay to lose this one. I have like a whole dragon prince. He has 6 units. I have a Sisters of Avalorn. I guess technically you could just catch all my skirmishers right now. That could potentially be a little A little spooky. Okay, he's gonna lose his lord though. His Cold One Knight's getting pretty massacred. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. No need to panic. New Norska mechanic with the champion hero would be nice. What do you mean by that? I feel like their generic lords could be more exciting, that's for sure. You know, just give him like a cool item at least in multiplayer. That's all I'm asking for. Alright, nice. So I can just prevent them from capturing any of these points, right? You brought back a Manticore. Honestly though, Dark Elves will have a really hard time versus Shadow Warriors. It's very similar to the reason why Dark Elves suffer against Wood Elves. All of their short range tools are just kind of bad. It's crazy to think that Wood Elves are even more intense here. Wood Elves would be even harder to beat for Dark Elves. What we got here? A little bit of Cav charge. Manticore dodge, nice. Gotta be careful that I'm not target firing his single entities I can dodge. Anyways. Okay, he's committing the Manticore there. What, he has a half-dead unit of Cold One Knights? Not a problem. Special traits by getting special acquirements. That's always cool. It's like, you know, like that. Like the ogres getting like free Noblars. You just have to like... I feel like, you know, I feel like if the rewards were bigger though. I feel like the rewards should be bigger and harder to achieve. Because I think Ogre Kingdoms, they have that, but it's like recruit 2 Noblars and then you get them. Doesn't feel as impactful for me.
Unending glory is yours.
Yeah, Wolfric rework is hype. Dude, all the reworks are super hype. Very exciting indeed. Alright. First win of the day. Good stuff. The goal is to try hard and win the tourney today with High Elves. Eltharion did fine. Skirmishers did fine. Honestly, Frostheart Phoenix is kind of clutch. The big loss for him, though, is losing his chariots at the beginning. Although they still got a lot of value. Just shooting Eltharion on the second summon. But yeah, he lost the Skirmisher unit. The Kite builds are really good at forcing your opponent into a bad position. Now, one thing I am wondering, though. So the matchup that we lost was against Khorne. I'm really wondering if this bad boy over here at 4,700 HP, 35% magic resist. Can you kill it with Arcane Unforging? Hey, John Malcolm, thank you very much for the $5. Oh, £5, my bad. Crazy to think that Norska struggles with single entity dueling when their legendary lord is a famous duelist. Yeah. You can... Some people take Horse Wolfric though, and it's kind of an okay solution there. Like Horse Wolfric and some Skin Wolves will get some work done. Alright, so let's say I have Eltharion. I cast Arcane Unforging on this. How much damage does one Arcane Unforging do? Okay, yeah, that's 14 winds of magic for a quarter of its HP. That's pretty not worth, right? It's pretty not worth. So, I should probably look for something else. Because that artillery piece is the be-all, end-all of killing the High Elves. I feel like Techless with the net is not bad, though. So I can take Techless with the net and, like, Flock of Doom. I think this might do it. Ooh, yeah. Norska getting, like, traps and nets and stuff for big targets. I feel like single entity nets would be sick. The Mistwalker barrage did more damage than the Unforging. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Alright, so let's say, right, I'm like, oh no. He has a big spooky cannon. It just did 1,000,000 damage to my Shadow Warriors. But its range is only so high, so Techless can totally net it down. And then there's no dodging from it, right? For 18 seconds. Which lets me get a full barrage from these guys. Wow. Did you guys just see that? Its attack animation makes it move. Its attack animation makes it move. So I have to fire between shots. Technically, if they really know what they're doing, someone could if they really know what they're doing, they could hold fire on it, wait for me to shoot, and then get a free dodge. Okay, here's the thing though, right? Assuming I netted it there, one volley should be able to delete it pretty hard at medium range. So it's, I think Techless with net is probably good enough here, given that it's really the only tool. And then I just gotta save my ammunition for high priority targets, like Minotaurs and such. Honestly, I think Techless probably wins this. People used to take 3 single entities and Reaver Archers when that cannon was OP. Yeah. Oh crap. Is the round done? No, we're good. Only 2 people have finished so far. Basic mage with net plus Plague of Rust mage. High elf mages tend to be pretty expensive, right? Oh no, they're 300. So if you load them out with spells, I think it's still a little not worth. 650 is a little pricey. Shadow Warriors only got so much they can get done. But yeah, I think I'm going for Lion Chariots of Trace. Bunch of Shadow Warriors. No Plague of Rust. And we just Net of Amontalk and Flock of Doom spam corn. Alternatively, no Flock of Doom, and I take like... Honestly, Chain Lightning might be hard to dodge for a lot of his warriors. It's 100% AP. I don't know, Techless's magic list is not the most impressive thing in the world. I could just take the net with Techless. At that point, though, I might as well just take a basic Archmage of Light. Then at least I have Shems and the net. Shems and net's pretty hype because I have a little bit of a magic dump I can dish out. Minotaurs, you're saving your Shadow Warrior ammunition for Minotaurs, so they shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, so the idea here is simple. Right? You have the net. You see that they fire, which means that it's reloading. Come on. Geez, that net takes a while. Can I get a shot in before it shoots? It's 10 seconds for it to shoot. Or 13 seconds? Okay, yeah. Yeah, if I can net it at like the perfect time and then get 2 volleys off, it's a free win, right? That's enough to get this thing to crumbling. Even if it stabilizes because a Lord is nearby, you just finish it off with like a Shems or something. Yeah, I think if you do that, Khorne is pretty boned, man. That's a lot of value down the drain that they can't really you know, just take from the get-go. If they play more carefully with the cannon, it's not going to do as much damage either. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I'll take it. I'll take it. And then I just need enough to kill off the rest of their infantry. You know, I kind of wonder now. So let's say he has Chaos Warriors of Khorne. If I put this guy in an Ilthamar chariot, he's cheaper than a Lion chariot. But is he actually going to be more effective? Let's take a look. Gotta remember to keep checking the bracket, by the way. People are going to be finishing up in about 10 minutes. But yeah, I have to play this very carefully. Teclis is so lame.
Shadow Warriors.
He, yeah. I feel like he could be like... He could be a much cooler spellcaster.
I am ready.
Alright, so... Do I want the slightly cheaper chariot? In the form of a noble, no armor piercing damage, or lion chariots? Noble's a single entity. Lion chariots do a lot more damage.
For Asurian. Onward. Lakoy.
Overall,
Brave and true.
HP wise, we're looking at more HP on the lion chariots.
Loyal. We advance.
You're taking, yeah, okay, the lion chariots just trade way faster, right? Nothing else about it. Lion chariots are just
Rapid advance.
getting loads of damage in. If I did run Teclis, I can use regrowth, which would be pretty cool. Can use Shadow Warriors in melee when they run out of ammo. Not really against Khorne. Desummoning is way better. They're never gonna get 425 value in melee if they're at full HP. Or, you know, we can test it out, but like the most common thing you're gonna be facing, right? Let's say you're facing Marauders. Can you use Shadow Warriors in melee? Let's take a look at this. I'm pretty sure they get dumpstered by Marauders, but yeah, you know, we'll take a look. I'm not even gonna try them against Warriors of Khorne. Also, yeah, the nobles didn't feel too great.
Unlimited power.
No, they did not. Okay, so stat-wise, we're looking at, you know, these guys have 38-42 against 40-23. AI kind of botches its charge, but this fight at least is okay. As you can see, the High Elves, they grind okay. So in like a perfect circumstance, man, even then. Yeah, I think desummoning will just get you value faster, right? It's about as good as it gets, and they got 300 gold from that. It's not the best. I would totally just desummon them. Yeah, they have like 0 HP. Let's squish balls. All right. I'll be back in a second while we wait for the next round. Here we go. Hopefully I can match up into Khorne. I've been itching for revenge, man. And we're back. No revenge, sir. We don't need to play. Yeah, I did get some pointers on Corn, and also after playing that match. I feel like I understand them a bit better now. So Skull Taker on Blood Throne, he's pretty tanky. A lot of armor, charge bonus. You can kind of just cycle charge with them. And then you have your mega debuffs. So he should actually be pretty scary, right? At a fairly cheap price too. 38 seconds. Like, the big things is like you take Skull Taker, more Minotaurs, and micro this cannon and never lose it. I think if you do that, it's pretty spooky. And then you can go, you know, Man-Tide or whatever. It kind of makes sense. You play only High Elves today? Yeah, I feel like I should be able to consistently win tournaments with High Elves before I can really feel comfortable. The good thing about High Elves is they're probably getting a DLC, according to most predictions. And the other thing is they also play very similarly to other factions. So if I can kite with High Elves, I can probably kite with Empire. If I can kite with High Elves, I can probably kite with Kislev. Or even Greenskins. Or maybe even Tomb Kings, who knows? Skeleton Horse Archers, right? I don't know. You know, cavalry kites there, but like, it's kind of just, you know, it helps you really practice the limits. The limits of killing the enemy fast enough. Skaven kite. I wish. Oh, how I wish Skaven could kite. Wasn't Skull Taker a trash lord for multiplayer? No, he's actually pretty common. I think he might be one of the more meta picks that you see nowadays. High Elves in the next DLC with the Techless rework. Yeah, that'd be so hype. Yo, Norska though. Norska rework. I wonder what they're gonna do to Throg. Did they say that they were gonna make Throg smart? I think in their YouTube video, people mentioned something about that. So you just, we're finally gonna have smart Throg. Yo, oh my god. There are people who graduated high school and then graduated university / college before Throg became smart. Actually, wait, let's see. When was the Norska DLC? I'll double check. When was the Norska Total War DLC? Jeez, 2017. Yeah, that's actually... Oh my god, yeah, no. There's people that graduated high school and then graduated university. And Throg was dumb throughout all of it. Oh god. Yeah, new voice lines. Hype. New smart voice lines. Hope he speaks like an English professor now. Dude, it'd be hilarious. Is he gonna look the same? I wonder if his model's gonna change. Did Throg have good posture in the books? Yo, I'm so hyped. It's gonna be a bit jarring. But yeah, I feel like you know, should be cool. Give him glasses. I wonder if they'll change his campaign mechanics. Like, Throg should give, like, his faction way higher research rate. I feel like Throg should be good with that, and he should be better at, like, tactics and stuff, like a cool redline skill tree. I read to my enemies. Okay, they need something similar to that, right? They need something, I blank my enemies. I feel like that would be a nice inside joke. Kind of looks like his tabletop model. Okay. I guess it makes sense for him to stay the same then. Alright, so we're just waiting for one more match to finish. Checkmate my enemies. Yeah, I feel like if it doesn't get reflected in his skill tree, it would be a little sad. It would be a little sad. But like, you know, that's his whole shtick. So I debate my enemies. Educate. Oh my gosh, it would be so nice. Smart for a troll, but he's no archmage. He's no archmage, but I think he's smart even by human standards. He like philosophizes, which I'm pretty sure your standard Empire State Troop is not doing. I think there's some greenskins that also do a little bit of philosophizing. Trying to understand the humies. Oh, Oishikun's playing today. He just beat Serika. Dang. Yo, Oishikun's a menace. Oishikun's not a one trick, so they're pretty terrifying. That one right there. Personally, hope we see Vampire Coast in the next DLC. A Coast DLC would be so hype. I'm thinking it's based on what people are saying. Lore-wise, it makes sense for it to be High Elves, but a Vampire Coast rework, because this DLC seems like it's going to be very ocean-themed, right? I'm gonna message these players. Yeah, it seems like it's very ocean-themed. So I feel like an ocean, you know, mini rework, which also helps Coast, would be apt. Alright, High Elves. Third faction is Skaven again. Yo, I feel like they should just start releasing DLCs. You know, just one faction, you know? I feel like that would help the content droughts a bit. This is not a decision for like what's best for the company. This is just literally what I want. Because then it'll give me a little bit more stuff to do in the in-betweens. But I'm sure there's a million reasons why it's a bad idea. Round 2 is up. Who am I up against? Sipa. Sipa. Yo, yo. Alright, Sipa, have at thee. I'm High Elves X5. So, top bracket bans 2 bottom bracket factions. Okay. So, I get to ban 2 of their factions. One, Rift at World's Edge. Okay. Let's play High Elves versus Ogres then. Alright. High Elves versus Ogre Kingdoms, hell yeah. Yo, this one will be interesting. Ogre's kind of spicy. I just want more balance patches, yeah. I feel like small patches every couple months is a lot nicer than these like mega patches. Legend of Total War seems quite certain that CA's next game is 40k. I think 40k has to be on the horizon, right? There's no way it doesn't print money. It's like the most easily sellable idea ever. Yeah, so like, I don't know. But like, I think it would be insane for them not to be working on 40k. Would it be the next one though? I don't know. It might not be the next one. Alright, Ogies. Olga Kingdoms. They are, unfortunately, kind of annoying. There's Stone Horns, Thunder Tusk shenaniganry that we must deal with. Wait, Warhammer 40k are now doing a crossover with Rust? What? Warhammer 40k Rust crossover. What? Wait, what is this? Is a Warhammer 40k crossover with Rust? Yo, that's crazy. I play Rust. Wait, what's it gonna be about? What? That's the least expected thing I could have ever imagined. Yo, that's crazy. Alright, yo, ODM stands for Order de Malta, something like that. It's French, I don't know. Alright, let's see. Ogres. So ogres are not that bad. It's not like they have a lot of stuff that can deal with Kite, right? Aside from just a fat, giant rush into my face, which would absolutely annihilate me. They got crushers and all that biz, so it could be a little sus. Yeah, lead belchers hard maybe. I think my skirmishers can outshoot lead belchers, but they have to use their stealth to get that done. So, you know, hard maybe. Yo, that's crazy though. Really, a Rust Warhammer collaboration. I would have never expected such a thing. My mind is blown. Yo, that's crazy, man. Yo, what are they gonna even do? Games Workshop already made the Lord of the Rings tabletop, I believe. So I don't think it's out of the question. Yeah, I don't know. I think Lord of the Rings would be a surprise. I feel like 40k is a much easier pitch. But hey, you know, if they can get the rights to it, why not? Just get it all in. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to beat the Ogies. I guess spearmen here, just vanilla spearmen, are not the end of the world. Also fairly useful if I am getting rushed in the face. Ogres terrifying though. You be playing ogres. If I'm running into like a Stonehorn / Thunder Tusk situation, how much do I need to kill that? I think Eltharian's probably enough to kill one of them. Multiple of them? Big maybe. A cavalry's not the worst option against them, but certainly not the best either. Like, very tempted to just have a Plague of Rust caster, like, just in case he goes for just the fattest rush ever. But I don't want to, like, excessively dive into the anti, you know, Thunder Tusk situation. I feel like that could lead to a lot of issues for him. Instead, Dragon Prince is worth it? Are they just gonna die to Crushers? That part has me a little worried. I don't want to just get crushered. I guess my options are fairly limited then, aren't they? Alright. This will probably do though. This will probably do. Okay, one last thing. Just in case. I feel like I need a lot of answers to things It means I can't take as much of a standard army, but I think this will do. Just use cannons. Oh wait, this faction sucks. It's all about being creative with the High Elves to make up for the lack of strong units. If they have the money for a new engine, then it's 40k. If not, they just pick the low-hanging fruit and go for Age of Sigmar. I'm really interested. How far off is this gonna be though, right? Are we gonna have to wait like a year, 2 years before we get anything anything worth playing other than Warhammer Total War? Ready, good luck, have fun. I feel like Lord of the Rings Total War would be pretty easy to implement. You basically have everything you need in Warhammer already. Lord of the Rings Total War is pretty chill. Anyways, I brought a light mage and a metal mage in case I need net or Plague of Rust. But otherwise, I'm going to try and avoid summoning them in because they're pretty expensive. And instead, I'm just going to pull Shadow Warriors. Age of Sigmar would be disappointing to everyone. I think there's a large population that would enjoy Age of Sigmar. Shadow Warriors. I don't want to go for the typical cavalry skirmish, because I think they suffer versus lead belchers really hard. There they are. Okay, so they did go for a lead belcher core and man-eater pistols. So this is actually pretty good for us. All I really gotta do is summon in more Shadow Warriors, get them into position. I don't want them to know where my Shadow Warriors are, and then begin the kite play. So there's lead belchers. I don't think I can go for this capture point. Shadow Warrior number 1. So yeah, we're just gonna hard kite him. Hopefully I can get some of his guys to like take a pot shot at Eltharion, and then I get an easy volley off. Come on. Come on, get that shot off. There we go. That should hurt his lead belchers pretty bad, and that'll be a good start to this battle. A solid beginning to a very long and arduous battle. He has pigback riders. He does have a couple lead belchers taking more pot shots at my Shadow Warriors too. And he does have gold. The menace. Absolute menace gold over here. But yeah, lead belchers have that, holy crap, they have that range. I see. Alright. Well, that's pretty painful, actually. Can I just go in for the kill, though? I do have a lot of cavalry. I am going to get another Shadow Warrior. He can only get one volley off at a time per my one volley. So if I can just loop around here, it shouldn't be too bad. Eltharion's dodging fairly well for himself. And there you go. They just shot, which means that they cannot defend themselves against my Shadow Warrior volley here. That's going to be pretty painful for them. And then we're just going to run them down. They can't retreat through their lines because Shadow Warriors are here to protect. And this should be a fairly decent pick that I have going for myself here. It's mostly just, you know, can I kill off these guys? Does Eltharion have his Mistwalker barrage? He does, okay. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So we got one of them routed. That's good. Next up are the man-eater pistols. Don't want them causing me any issues. Let's pull back these guys over here. And then the Noblar pigback rider shouldn't be a big deal. I just gotta kill off them range units. Because once they're dead, my Shadow Warriors just have a field day, right? They just have a field day on them Noblars and such. Eltharion will do fairly well over there. A nice charge. Maybe even a terror out if I'm lucky. Them Noblars, though, are being menaces. I could summon a spear unit now, too. There's not a lot that can really punish them. And it looks like he's actually overextended a tiny bit. Not too bad. We definitely have time here. Eltharion just needs to keep patching himself up. And if we can just bully his Noblars, we're fine. Killing off a Lead Belcher is a good early pick, though. Nice. Noblars are dead. All right. You know what? Not too bad. Not too bad. I don't think I need metal or light in this situation. I just got ammunition as fast as possible here. Let's just rip a pot shot into these guys and then pull back. All right. Not a terrible start. Not a terrible start. Value trading says it's terrible for me, though. I don't know what's up with the value trading. I swear it shouldn't be this bad. All right, here we go. So they're trying to target Eltharion. Eltharion's just going to hopefully dodge. And then we get a nice shot in on them. Pretty good damage. Nothing immaculate, though. Here we go. Let's get more cavalry. Remember, most of his units aren't going to be too useful here anyways. So I should just be able to, yeah, take him out over there. And without any ranged or anti-kite tools, now he's in trouble, right? Now he should be in pretty big trouble. There's a very nice pick over there. We're going to see if we can kill his ogre bulls that are charging towards me at a very fast pace. Eltharion most definitely has to live. You are not dying this day, good sir. And so begins the big combat. So, yeah, I have a lot of cavalry, but they don't really have a lot that they can do right now. The man-eater pistols are definitely going to be a big ol' annoying problem. But his Noblars at least should go down rather quickly to my range superiority. We do have some more spears coming on in. I think the spears are good. There's very little he can do against them. Okay, pretty decent volley over there. He's kind of showing back up, though. Really got to kill them man-eaters. I guess most of his value's in Eltharion, too. Well, I've mostly been ignoring gold. Mayhaps we have a little bit of an overcommit from him, too. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, geez, those spears are going to get mushed, though. Ripperino to those guys. But, it shouldn't be too bad. Looks like Eltharion's doing fine. I might be able to charge these trappers in the back. Just got to kill those man-eater pistols, right? Saber tusks are going down. Mistwalker barrage drops. Okay, pretty good damage. It's a little bit of a tussle. At least victory tickets are going my way. Oh my gosh, the slows though. Are you seeing the slow on my poor cavalry? They're kind of getting massacred. Okay, and he does summon another Lead Belcher unit. Interesting. How do I feel about that? Can I just ignore them? I will say Eltharion's getting massacred here. He's definitely getting attrition down pretty hard. Oh boy, yeah, this is looking bad. Unless I can get a sick dive in on those Lead Belchers, this is going to be difficult. Saber tusks piling on into. Okay, let's see if I can get this flank on them. My spears are gonna have to cook very hard though, for us to do well here. My Shadow Warriors at least were able to get most of their ammunition off, but yeah, really just hoping for these spears to cook. Let's see here. Yeah, we have some pigback riders here. You know, maybe he'll still run out of units. You never know. Eltharion has a little buff he can throw out there. You know, I might be able to capture this here point. Eltharion's got to be careful, though. One catch from these ogre bulls, and he's a doomed man. He's absolutely dead. We do not want that one. Oh boy, those ogre bulls. Those ogre bulls are brutal. Okay, pigback riders I can kill, though. Eltharion should be able to survive. Okay. We got one of my Shadow Warriors getting desummoned now. So that's the beginning of some mild up trading we can get done there. And yeah, now I can maybe get a cavalry supremacy over here. Like, this is a fairly good pick on this far side. Unfortunately, no desummon for these boys. Come on, come on. Good pick on the far side. Iron Guts should go down to that. Is that a Buna? I think he just Buna'd me. Okay, but I have a lot of cav. His lead belchers are fairly out in the open too. I just gotta get me this desummon. I desperately need to get a desummon there. All right, nice. There you go. Lead belchers are indeed going down. Wondrous. Wondrous, wondrous, wondrous. Oh, thank goodness. All right. All right, I think we still got a chance here. Although my cavalry's getting kind of taken to Pound Town. Victory tickets too are of the essence, right? I don't have a lot of time left here. But okay, you know, we routed off his saber tusks. I think we're totally boned though. As optimistic as I want to be, I feel like these lead belchers were way harder to kill than I gave them credit for. Let's see. I'll still tussle though. Maybe the mass cav will do it. I don't have a lot of anti-large cavalry or anything. Eltharion should be able to get at least a little bit of work done. Okay, saber tusks going down. Nice. Get a little bit of a charge here. Eltharion, he does still have a little bit of healing for himself. Nice. And we did kill the saber tusks. Oh my gosh, he's really just spamming lead belchers against mass cav. That's crazy that he can just do that. That's insane. I really thought the mass cav would do better versus like the bulls and such. They did not. Still though, we're gonna tussle. Eltharion is not having the greatest time of his life versus gold. Come on. Come on, Eltharion. Fly, you fool. Fly. Alright. You should live. Then we go over here. We steal a point. Oh boy, heal capped Eltharion. Alright. So I'll be able to steal a point at least. And what? He has an ogre bull unit here that I might be able to get a cav charge on. God dang it, Eltharion's gone though. Wall of pointy sticks and archers would have won this. Lead belchers would have made it tough regardless. I think lead belchers, without a way to shut them down, it's going to end up being pretty tough. I would need I don't know. Single entities don't really do that well against ogres either. I do get a capture point, but I believe he's going to take it back very quickly. Come on, boys. Just capture it. Just capture it. Oh, you're kidding me. I'm not capturing it. Come on. Come on. What are you doing? Holy crap. They didn't even capture the point. That's terrible. Yeah. I think I just couldn't deal with the lead belchers, right? Eltharion, he tried his best. But, yeah. How much armor do they have? 50? Dang. Alright. GG, well played. Yeah, that seemed rough. It's good practice, though. Let's take a look at the Shadow Warriors. Did they do well? Bolt throwers? I'm terrified of taking bolt throwers. I think he'd shove me back, but hard maybe on them. Yeah, one of the lead belchers got way too much value. Eltharion just got bullied. I think I still put up a decent fight. But yeah, I would need something else. Yeah, bolt throwers are okay versus lead belchers. I still think he would just rush me though. The power of the A move is very powerful. Let's see, what would I need to deal with a build like that? So he had a bunch of pigback riders to make sure that I can't just rush his face down. Although a full melee high elves would be pretty jokes. I don't think that would have done too well. Reavers are a no-go. I don't know, man. Flock of Doom doesn't do too well either. I think Lead Belcher's a low entity count. Okay, let's update the win-loss. I should still make it to semifinals. Even with this loss though, assuming Sipa continues to win. High Elf Spears didn't do that good into Ogres, no. Because they're dealing with pigback riders and big charges. So they lose their HP really quickly. Like, even though my Spears did get on top of them, they didn't really do that well. Like, you know, they're fine, but nothing amazing. Especially against, like, Iron Guts that have the armor to protect them. So these guys are 16 entity count. Interesting. Silverin. Silverin would be a hard maybe. So Silverin are much chunkier spears. You would still need to deal with the Iron Guts or the Lead Belchers before you bring them in. Yeah, the big thing is the Lead Belchers. So one thing you could do, assuming Bolt Throwers do well against them, which I think they wouldn't be that bad, you could go Bolt Throwers and then just like a stupendous number of like elite spears. Like you just do something crazy like this. But no, there's no magic that'll do well against Lead Belchers, unfortunately. Not really. This is okay. Let's see here. Handmaiden. You know, Handmaiden's a really interesting tech, isn't she? You know, I should check that out. Let's hear. Skirmish versus AI. You know, that would be some insane tech, taking a Handmaiden. Does she have homing shots? She can get reload skill improvement. So she costs 700. Honestly, fairly expensive, but if she can get the job done, I'll take it. Ogre Kingdoms. Get a Lead Belcher. Let's take a look-see. She doesn't. What about Soul Quench? You would kill a couple entities, but that's it.
Alifa Na.
Handmaiden of Alario.
Adminning.
Handmaiden
Okay,
of the
so Handmaiden has very long range. She still has to be in range of the Lead Belchers. But let's just take a look. So one shot doesn't kill a Lead Belcher entity. That's kind of the breakpoint that you would want. A Lithanar, maybe? So Lithanar kill a Lead Belcher with one shot? Okay, a Lithanar does actually snipe Lead Belchers. You know, there's a non-zero chance that a Lithanar would be a decent strat here. Yeah, so he deals 455. So he does actually snipe Lead Belcher entities. This is a matchup where you actually want to run a Lithanar. That'd be pretty ludicrous, but maybe. Yeah, he's like a mobile bolt thrower. I think a Lithanar is a hard maybe. He only costs 1,000. Try the princess. Princess is so like let's take a princess on a great eagle. Get that high ground damage going. Maybe volley of higher arrows. Alright, let's take a look at this. This would definitely help a ton if I could just use most of my Shadow Warrior ammunition on the Oblars. Because like the ogres, they get a lot of missed shots having to shoot at max range. Shadow Warrior single entity would be hype. Fortunately, I think it's campaign exclusive. Alright, so let's take a look here. Okay, so one shot does not kill a lead belcher. Does this do anything? Okay, so we killed one. Killed one lead belcher. She has 2 kills. Yeah, it's not going to work if you're not sniping entities. Because you have to reduce the number of shots that they're firing. And overall, this is taking ages too, right? It's taking like 2 minutes to kill one lead belcher unit. That's pretty bad. Yeah, it's worse DPS than a Lithanar. A Lithanar can at least just poke away for like forever. Let's also test out the bolt thrower. I still have to be super careful that he doesn't just rush it down. Because he doesn't have to march that far forward to just start shooting it. But if it does ludicrous damage, you might as well. Okay, so with a Lithanar and a bolt thrower, what kind of damage are we looking at here? Bolt thrower is... yeah, it's getting picks. So like one bolt thrower in reserve is probably not a terrible idea. To at least force a big engagement. I think bolt thrower is really good. It also gives them the hit by artillery debuff. The Lithanar too. You kind of just continuously snipe them down. A Lithanar has a lot of ammunition. He's not too bad. Bolt thrower is getting the Lithanar range damage buff. Use the moonbow. I don't think moonbow would do that much here. It's pretty expensive. To have to kill 1/5 of a lead belcher to pay for itself. Yeah, High Elf Princess, they do have a mini arrows of Kurnos, but it's not the same. It doesn't hit the same. What do I want to do versus Ogre Kingdoms? I feel like the Bolt Thrower Spear Tide is a nice way to beat that style specifically. Because without lead belchers, it should be pretty hard to punch into a million spears. I don't think any phoenixes will do well. The monstrous guys are just so good against my single entities. All right. Next round begins. Advancing the Swiss. I'm up against, alright. This guy. Here we go. We're up. Alright. I'm High Elves, X5. Let's see what they're playing. The map is gonna be Decrepit Moor. Okay. Moor. Yeah, ogres seem like a tough pickle for high elves. Those lead belches are crazy. You still trying to make eagle claws work? No. Only a hard maybe versus ogres, but probably not. Alright. So. Picks his 3. So what are his 3 factions that he wants to play against high elves? He has Demons of Chaos, Warriors of Chaos, Dwarves, Slaanesh, Tomb Kings. Slaanesh, Tomb Kings, and Dwarves. Let's play versus Slaanesh like a mad lad. Have at thee. I got a good win rate versus Slaanesh. What's the worst that can happen? Alright, so Slaanesh. Here's the thing. They can't really win a frontline fight. Against high elves, though, they absolutely can. Which means we're boned. Alright, nah. Let's see here. Slaanesh. Slaanesh. I think there's only one way to play this, right? All right. Looks like someone has to drop from the tournament. Having some problems with their connection. That's rough. Dedicated servers when? Okay, so obviously playing against Slaanesh is like not an optimal play, but this is better practice for me in the end. So they can armor spam. Slaanesh is very similar to Khorne in that they can spam shielded armor and then have their way with you. But I think it shouldn't be that bad. Assuming I don't throw my lord or something. Yeah, a lot of Chaos Warriors with armor. A lot of Chaos Warriors with armor. I think I have a good solution though. It should not be impossible. I have a build. Is it a good build? We'll have to see. But yeah, I think Slaanesh is not like the biggest. I don't think their armor is like the biggest deal in the world. It's definitely a doozy. Like, I'm gonna have to take at least some sort of counter versus their armor. But as long as I can fight their cavalry on my side of the battlefield, I can kind of play this like Wood Elves, and it's not as bad as it could be. That's the theory. That's as far as it goes. At least I don't need to bring Terror, because the whole roster has ITP. But yeah, you know, I got a decent build. What's the worst that can happen? So Gara's Pride good? They have Mighty Roar. Reduces speed. Okay, Furies. As long as I have Cav in reserve, Fury shouldn't be that bad. Sisters of Avalorn on horses. Instantly best faction. Instantly best faction in the game. Armor piercing skirmish Cav, are you kidding me? Armor piercing 360 skirmish Cav, holy crap. How expensive is this unit gonna be? I'll take it for 2 million. Let's see. Okay, seriously, why am I running here? What even is this build? This build confuses me. High Elf Spears feel so sucky. Alright, you know what? This should be good enough. Alright, here we go. They're called handmaidens? Oh god. Yes, handmaidens of the Everqueen. Okay, I guess technically they are armor piercing. But it's only one. It's only one. And they only do 200 damage. That's like really low damage, isn't it? Aren't single entity horse shooty guys supposed to do a lot more? So why do handmaidens cost so much? Silverin Guard versus Slaanesh. I think Silverin would do okay versus Slaanesh. Kind of expensive though. Will they really be able to take the fights that they want to? Feel like they're just gonna grind against Chaos Warriors for a long time. All right. Here we go. If I can't beat Slaanesh with High Elves, who am I? Even. Trying to kite Slaanesh seems impossible. It's a light kite. So I'm not like full kiting Slaanesh. I do need some form of infantry. But the Shadow Warriors are at least fairly resistant to the typical Slaanesh dive strats. I'm also starting with cavalry and I have techless. Ready. Good luck, have fun. The idea is I win the frontline fight with my White Lions of Trace. And then I use my skirmishers to bully the bigger targets like lords or expensive cavalry. Then I use my mid-tier cavalry to clean up Hellstriders. The great thing about fighting Slaanesh is that they have no armor. So Shadow Warrior, well, at least most of their units, most of the faster units don't have any armor. So Shadow Warriors should perform fairly well here. All right. Here we go. He does have a Nakari, which is actually perfect. So he has a net, Wit Stealer Sword. He bought a fairly fighty Nakari, probably expecting something like Altarian. That's pretty nice for me. That's pretty nice. He went for Forsaken, which generally shouldn't do that well versus my skirmishers. And I have techless. So overall, it's not the worst start. This could have been a bunch of shielded warriors. Thankfully for me, this appears to be much more manageable. Am I summoning in a 5th Shadow Warrior? Probably not. Sounds suicidal to me. The Lion Chariot's hard, maybe. My infantry only need a small amount of help to win the frontline engagement. So I think we'll be okay. Techless Rampage incoming. I think Pavane's banned in this, so he went for Phantasmagoria instead. There's other ways for them to rampage, though. So don't think we're out of the woods just yet. Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh coming on in. It's kind of crazy that they're just going for it. They're gonna eat a pretty fat volley, no dodge either. That's a solid 250 gold bonus. Gold damage value, not tracking properly. Classic. And we get a triple cap. So I don't really need to play any more aggressive. You know, a long build-up doesn't really hurt me. Like it does, you know. Yeah, it just doesn't really hurt me, right? Because he's not getting any tickets. So I have the same amount of time to kite. We kind of learned this with our Empire v Corrin matchup. Where, yeah, you know, I'm just gonna have a solid amount of time to just, you know, he still needs to get all his victory tickets and such. So this is a pretty massive army. That is a pretty massive flock of doom, though. He does have a lot of cavalry here, so we're going to need to manage that. Hellstriders just need a backup. And then we're going to net Nakari. Now, he's going to net me. But Nakari getting netted is definitely a lot more painful. And I should just be able to shoot him up, right? For like 1,000,000 damage. Yeah, the net was pretty brutal for both sides. Although, definitely, Nakari getting brought down to half HP already is brutal. Oh, Nakari's getting cooked. Okay. I'll take that. Yeah, Nakari got absolutely cooked. He was not ready for that net in the slightest. So now we just peel for my boys. These are just Hellstriders, and not a big deal. Nakari got obliterated in that engagement. And my archers can have the time of their lives. You can see how hard it is to dive a backline to Slaanesh when you don't have your front line pummeling their way through. And without Nakari's support, he probably isn't going to be able to take that front line fight. That's pretty nice. White Lions are not bad. As long as the Shadow Warriors escape, I'm A-okay. More Hellstriders, though. This guy apparently is made out of Hellstriders. Can I brace with these spears? Not entirely sure. We'll have to see. I'll just save a net for Nakari. But so far, it seems like my guys are doing quite nice for themselves. The techless flock of dooms have been getting pretty good value, too. Yeah, and Nakari's left to the back lines. Yeah, losing that much HP on Nakari at the beginning of the match is a doozy, man. That's an absolute doozy. I might as well just shoot into these Hellstriders. Because lack of armor, saving him a butt. He has very few tickets, and honestly, this seems like a very decisive victory against the forces of Slaanesh. I'm even just gonna save up my my volley here. Net Nakari. Blast him in the face. Goodbye, Nakari. Victory. Solid. Yeah, it's... That just came down to giving him a very difficult fight. I just wanted to give him the hardest fight possible, and he didn't have the build for it. Bro got cooked. Nakari got 71 value. Techless got some insane flocks of doom, too. It's just going to be hard. It's always going to be hard for Slaanesh if you can find a way to secure the frontline fight. Generally, in previous metas, Forsaken and the Warriors could win the frontline fight pretty hard. But I think people are starting to adapt to that. And then once they're starting to dive the back line, mid-tier cavalry do really well, assuming Seekers are banned. You kind of need to have Seekers banned, but worked out pretty well. Hey, Yazko, thank you very much. 69 Czech kroner. Very apt for a Slaanesh battle.
Jesus,
what a slaughter. Bro got absolutely
Bro got
violated,
violated.
as Slaanesh is wont to be. Slaanesh seems weak, might need a DLC. Oh, man. Yo, that was terrible, man. Dude, Nakari does not like getting skirmished. Nikari has so little armor against skirmishers. Like, even horse archers can kind of bully him. The build is not it. Yeah, so if you were playing Slaanesh, you want to win the frontline fight. I don't really know what you're supposed to do, though, right? Because, like, Exalted Demonettes, like, I don't know. Maybe if you Demonette spam. I don't know if they win against White Lions, though. They have, like, no HP. Let's take a look here. So I think you probably want to spam a bunch of just normal Chaos Warriors. They'll technically lose to White Lions, but I think it's close enough where you're probably fine. And then, like, you just need something to just slightly beat up the front line. You can't really go for the back line. You could even just take a Pendulum Caster. Like, I feel like Slaanesh with the Pendulum Caster against High Elves with, like, Portal Glyph. This is already not that bad. You have a lot of resistance to shooting. And then after the run out of front line, you just spam the cavalry. Kind of play it like Khorne. You don't have Minotaurs, but you have a bunch of other tools. Could bring in even Heartseekers after everything is mostly dead. It's kind of risky, though. If they had proper knights, it would annihilate High Elves. But, like, yeah, you could probably just spam Hellstriders in the late game and do fine. Check your Discord. Yo, we got new fan art. New fan art just dropped. Oh, god dang.
And check
Yo,
your Discord.
sick, man. Holy crap. Yo, that's a sick banner. Yo, can I use this as my end screen? This looks like a sick end screen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me show it off real quick. Let's see here. Image. End screen. It's a little bright though, but I think it's still pretty height. Let's see here. I can use it for today's end screen. I still didn't make an end screen. Where's it at? Downloads. Where'd I download it? Another version. Ooh. What's the difference between the versions? Ah, okay, that one's a little bit closer together. Let's see here. Save image. Yeah, okay, it's there. We're good. Yeah, I need to, like, add black bars to, like, the top and bottom, but, like, look at that. Sorry for the flashbang. It's not that late, though. Yo, look at this. Yo, this is some sick art. God dang. I'll download the other one. That one should fit the screen. My gosh. Resident artist Karavthir. Also known as Charix. Every time I get his name wrong. Let's see. Does this one fit? Does this one fit a bit better? Take a look, see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. Look at that. We got the whole Cathay squad. It doesn't fit perfectly. Maybe I'll just do it like this. But then it doesn't show your name though. Alright, I'll do it like this. Yo, sick art, man. Holy crap. Yeah, it goes real hard. God dang, you even got the general in there. The one that no one uses. Oh man, yo, Cathay's so underappreciated, man. Even the single player guys aren't a big fan of them. It's rough. It's rough. All right, let's see. Oh. So what if I copy this into here? Does that fade? Okay, yeah, I can. Yeah, we got an end screen. Okay, you know what? I can just shrink it. It's fine. We can have some black bars for the end screen. Yeah, let's go. All right. New end screen just dropped. Hype. Oh, Another craftier W. Oh my gosh. Dude, he's dishing out this art. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, because we saw just a sketch of the one on the right earlier. Dang. Are you trying to get me to play Cathay again? Honestly, with that new build, I kind of want to play more Cathay. The Cathay build in question is very simple. It's Jade Lancer, Onyx Chrome, and Max. Plus, I think it was just Zhao with his breath attack, right? Was the build really this simple? I think the build, yeah, it was fairly straightforward. Oh yeah, I did have an Alchemist, yes. So I think it was Alchemist, Plague of Rust. You put her on a horse. You have Zhao with Chrome and Max. Yeah, you get Zhao, Chrome and Max. You have Alchemist. The build got deleted after the great PC dying of a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Heaven's Caster in reserve, I think I had. And then, what else was there? Did I have a cannon in here? It was a no infantry build. I think I did have the Righteous Lances. But yeah, something along these lines. Yeah, something along these lines. The main core of it, though, is just spamming Jade Lancers and Chroman. It's pretty hype. The Crane Gunners clean up, and you actually can win most cavalry fights in the game. Chroman Lancer is really powerful. Because they harmonize with each other, and you get a rear charge with the Chroman. They do insane damage. 45 weapon strength is huge. And with the Plague of Rust, you ensure that you can kill all things armored. With Zhao, you have breath attacks to kill all things light infantry, so spears are pretty rough. And then what are they gonna do? Take elite halberds that just get Plague of Rust surround killed? It's great. But yeah, build with something like this. Very fun indeed. Oi. Alright, now as long as the person that beat me continues to win, I should be able to make it to semis. What's a good campaign build for Cathay? Easy. Campaign build for Cathay is, it looks like this. Gosh, Yasko, another 69 check chrono, jeez.
Could you replicate
this style of build with other factions? Oh yeah, I'll show it off in a bit. This is an easy, you know, up until like turn 50 type build for Cathay. After you're done with this, you probably transition into, you know, replace these guys with crossbows and then celestial dragon crossbows with like only like a couple of crane gunners. And then honestly, you can probably keep these guys here just because they're cheap. Just spam like Jade Warrior, Peasant Long Spearman. These guys are better in auto resolve, I think, so you just take more Jade Warriors. And then you can just make a bunch of super cheap armies at the gates with this. You just leave them at the gate, get the minus 60 upkeep. But yeah, Yasko, if you want to see a replicated version of the Cathay build, I think this one, I theory crafted it a while ago. If you're gonna play versus dwarves, I think this is what you do. So you go for a bunch of Knights of the Black Rose as a starter. You take Hawkland long rifles in reserve. You do need that 6 spell casting, but thankfully for Empire, they have some of the cheapest mages in existence. So if you just go for a raw metal mage with nothing, he costs 350. He's basically free. So you can just sub that guy in, and then you're kind of set. Now you don't have a, you know, crazy breath attack spammer on your lord, But, you know, you can go for like a Volkmar on his Altar of Sigmar. So you have like a fairly good rush build. Empire has some very spicy cavalry. Alright, like, look at these guys. There you go. You got like a bunch of, you know, you got... You can really sub in whichever cav works out for you. But like, this is a really good rush build that a lot of range factions might not be ready for. You just kind of rush them down and murder their faces. You might still want a Burning Headcaster in reserve, just in case they spam spears against your cavalry. But Burning Head is amazing. 750 is really cheap. Then you have your Hawkland Long Rifles in case it's a more defensive build that can't deal with it. And then you just kind of skirmish around and get things killed. Alternatively, War Wagons, but I think Long Rifle Cav spam does just fine. Like, look at this, right? This is chonky build right here. The only problem I can foresee is the lack of air support. So without Crowmen, things like Furies can jump your long rifles a lot easier. You kind of just have to leave a unit of knights defending them. But this, I think this would legitimately annihilate dwarves. A dwarven mass miner build is not going to be able to defend against knight charges, especially Knights of the Black Rose. And then the long rifles kill off other longbeards. Nice endorsement from Legend of Total War, yeah. Yo, it's almost S tier. It's like... Alternatively, you could, let's see here. So the only way this build works is if you have a lot of cavalry and some really punchy range units. So Kislev can't really pull it off as well because their Streltsy can probably just get charged. They can't sit safe in the back lines. Dark Elves don't really have a good long range tool either. And High Elves, while I think Sisters of Avalorn are fast enough to pull it off, possibly. Unfortunately for them, the cavalry is not as dominant. So if someone goes for a big old rush, your cavalry's probably just gonna fold. With Lizardmen, your cavalry is definitely a good deal stronger than High Elves. Right, you have your Cold One Riders. You do need something that can complete the kite, though. Salamanders are okay. Ancient Salamanders are okay. Razordawn hunting packs are okay. Depending on the guy you're going up against, you're probably going to go for something like this. The thing is, though, the reason long rifles work is because they have the range to outshoot other range units. Razordawns only have 100 range. Even Salamanders are 160. So they can't just sit back, relax, and shoot all day. It's very hard to punish a turtling opponent as Lizardman. So it probably wouldn't be that effective. Bastiladon and Stegodon don't really do that well either. So their damage output is just way too slow. Like, this will take, you know, a minute or more worth of shooting to kill one range unit. Long rifles will get it done more or less instantly. Like, the long range snipers are they're the tool that make it work. Which means Skaven cannot pull it off. Or, you know, which means Skaven can pull off half of it, but not the other half. Because they're not mobile enough. No cavalry. It's just gonna be a rough time. Yeah, you can spam Jezzails, right? But no amount of Rat Ogre Doomflayer is gonna be able to protect them against a proper rush. Tomb Kings have Ushapti. I think Ushapti are almost there, but I don't know how well they do versus most infantry. And they're quite expensive, so... yeah. Though they do have decent mobility in the horsemen and their own single entities, but... I think if you're just trying to kill hordes of, you know, quarrelers with shields, it'd probably take too long. Ogre Kingdoms, however, can pull it off very well. So Ogre Kingdoms have Lead Belchers, and they're already fairly fast with their Ogre Bowls. So literally, you can just spam Lead Belchers and just laugh in their face as long as they don't have artillery. And that's kind of the problem with Ogre Kingdoms. People can just take cannons. They can just take cannons, right? And then even if you just full rush them with a million ogres, you know, it's never going to be as effective as a full cavalry charge. Your magic is limited to wind blast spam. Yeah, it's wind blast spam to clear off the, you know, the spear. So it's no Zhao either. But ogres are really close to a similar playstyle. Oh yeah, Vampire Coast. They do have deck gunners. Definitely missing out on the mobility though. So most factions don't really have to play very far back against Coast. The reason the cavalry works is because it makes your opponent play as far back as possible. And then the range units make them want to come as close as possible. For Vampire Coast, you're just going to get advanced on, right? Yeah, there's nothing really to push you back. Anyone else with the really long ranged? The really long range tool? Not really. You know, you can technically do the same thing with Wood Elves. So, Way Watchers, amazing long range tool. But they don't have the ammunition. Or maybe they do. What's the ammunition difference? Okay, technically they have the same ammunition, but Way Watchers don't have the same oomph. They don't have that piercing infantry effect. Though, you can't really go too wrong with like a max cav Way Watcher build. It's a pretty classic Kite style to go cav max Way Watchers. Your cavalry are fairly sufficient in a tussle. So, you know, but like this is just a normal Wood Elf build. Just normal Wood Elf build. Yeah. Honestly, you can just normal Wood Elf Kite with a bunch of cav and Sisters of Twilight shotgun effect. When you bring Durthu, never. Not in domination. Bring him in land battle. He's fine there. Any heroes we're forgetting that could do the roles? I don't think there's any heroes that clear infantry with ranged that well. But yeah, Wood Elf Cav Max is fine. I do think their Way Watchers take a little bit too long to clear off enemy range units. You know, you start getting into like the High Elf situation. Bretonian catapults, if they were way more effective at doing damage, yes. Unfortunately not. Bretonian artillery piece can take like 3 minutes to kill a single infantry unit. Way too slow. Yeah, no, Durthu dies to most everything. Durthu's a really nice pick in land battle because you have a lot more build freedom. You can bring units that might get countered because your opponent has to bring all the counters in their army, and oftentimes they won't be ready for Durthu. You see this against Beastmen. At least you saw it against Beastmen in Warhammer 2. But in Domination, it's really easy to have all the counters you need. So it's like, hey, they might bring a tree man. I'll bring 1 gunpowder unit, and then they're fine. Sisters of Thorn viable at all? Yeah, we've seen some people actually take them pretty often. They use them to win cavalry engagements using Shield of Thorns, because the damage reflect in a cavalry fight is swingy enough to turn the fight in your favor. Curse of Onrir is nice to just slow them down so you can get a good charge surround on them. And they got skirmish attacks. And they got decent charges too. Can't really go too wrong with them. 40% physical resist, a good HP pool. Like, they're just, you know, they're just a nice, well-rounded cav unit. Anyways, yeah, I don't think there's that many builds that can copy the Cathay build. Or that many factions that can copy it. I think it really is just Empire. and kind of ogres. But yeah, it really is just Empire, and yeah, that's about it. I will say though, it does make Empire a lot more terrifying. If this is enough to kill dwarves, oh Nelly. At goblins, round 4. So we're heading into round 4 now. We win this, we're totally set. Fortunately, my opponent points are a little low because Sipa lost his match. What a guy. So what? There's 5 people competing. I'm up against Serika though. So if I win here, I'm probably making it. Alright, so I'm up against Serika. Yo. So, we have a pretty good win rate against them as High Elves. I'm High Elves X5. I think it's Wood Elves X5. Alright, here we go. Alright. Everything's managed. So, last time we did pretty good. It seems like my kiting is a little bit stronger than Serika's kiting. But, we're still gonna have to make sure they don't just hard counter me. Could be a massive cavalry rush. That would be pretty spooky. Played any Bannerlord? I have not. So Wood Elves. Altharian's not a bad choice. You can't really go wrong with Altharian just in general. Because he never dies. But yeah, I really gotta make sure I don't get cav rushed. One ginormous cav rush could put an end to me very quickly. Thankfully, my archers do a lot better than their archers. So, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Dryads, too, will suffer against my cavalry. So what really do I have to worry about? It's like 1 arrows of Kurnos. Altharian never dies. I've seen him die at least twice today. Okay, Altharian sometimes dies, but he's definitely a lot tankier than a lot of the other dudes. So anything I want to mix up here? So, you know, there are some like wacko builds, like he goes for like a tree man or something. Just goes max trees. A max tree build would be pretty hilarious, but it's totally manageable. Just because of how slow it is, I should be able to capture points fairly well. It shouldn't be that bad. But who knows? I've not faced a tree max build. Maybe it's insane. And then I get dumpstered. Imagine getting dumpstered by Tree Man Max. That would be surprising. It'd be very surprising indeed. Are Treekin hard to deal with? Like you technically you need something to tussle against them. If you have no answers for Treekin, then it's a little it can be a little rough. But like you really only need like a handful of units to deal with them. In theory, they should not be a problem. Practice though, in practice, I don't know. Maybe he just crushes it. Anyways, let's see if they have the answers to this. If I win this, we very likely make it to semifinals. Finally, a Norska update. I know, right, Rent-A-Cat? Very exciting indeed. Is healing Eltharion really worth the Winds of Magic? Usually. You play more aggressive with Eltharion, so you can actually use up his HP. And he basically guarantees that you'll win every single entity engagement. You don't have to take healing with them. If you really think his healing's going to go to waste, you take Arcane Unforging. Unforge their faces, and then you're good. We just need a Bretonia update. We need a Bretonian update. We need a... What was it? Bretonia, Vampire counts. There's a Skaven update that everyone's expecting. We need a Vampire Coast update. We need I guess that's basically it. Tomb Kings? I don't know. I don't think Tomb Kings like need an update though. High Elves. Well, High Elves were assuming it's coming. It is assumed. The Hellblaster volley gun outperforms Hawkland long rifles by quite a bit. The downside is it's an artillery piece, so it is a little harder to get into position. It's also a lot slower, so like sometimes if your opponent sees that you have these range units, they're just gonna dive you. If you have an artillery piece, it's a little sus. Because you can run with your Nolan Iron sides, right? Or your, your long rifles. Your Hawkland long rifles. You can't really run with the artillery piece. There's some spell casting that can just route it off immediately, like Burning Head, which does not really apply to your long rifles. Long rifles just have that little bit more oomph. Ooh, Karavdir with the new end screen so I don't flashbang people. Hell yeah. Sure, I'll use that one. Let's go. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's still maybe... yeah, it's not that bright. We'll see. If anyone complains about it, maybe I'll darken the image or something. Thank you, though. Thank you, thank you. I really wonder what Narex is going to go for here, though. So he knows that I have a build that has been very successful against him. But maybe he's cooking something crazy. Just cooking up a storm. Oh, they ready. This map is fairly good for Wood Elves too. Alternatively, it could just be a playstyle change. Could just play a lot more defensively. Zote spam. Not the Zotes. A forest dragon. All of this is insane. I think a forest dragon would be insane considering what I've been bringing lately. That would be bonkers play. I don't know if this matters to you, but Hawklands get exhausted while Hellblaster's still fresh. Oh, that's actually pretty interesting.
As you say,
It's definitely something to consider.
glory matters not.
Okay, so not a lot of units. Ready. Not a lot of units on the side of the Wood Elves. I decided to bring more or less the same build that I have been against them.
Shadow
I have my handful of skirmishers. I have my scouters, right?
penance.
As long as the Phoenix can spot for any dudes he brings in, we're fine. And then Tempest is to make sure that he can't get a Flying Lord, so that he's unable to spot my Shadow Warriors. I have two Sisters of Avalorn in case he decides to bring trees up the wazoo. But instead, it seems like he brought trees and skirmishers.
kinsmen. May the
Now ain't that interesting.
land
All right, so how do you
strike them down.
deal with this then?
Quickly now. I am called upon.
He brought a lot of skirmishers. Okay. Here we go.
Steel. Eltharion.
Big volley.
Swift.
Oh no, no dodge, no! Oh god, the humanity.
Onward.
All right. Well, that's a pretty good start, I'd say.
Azor.
I'd say that was fairly strong as an opener to
Making my way.
to his build.
I must.
They're gone. They're just straight up gone, man. All right, well, I'll heal up the Phoenix now.
Powered by vengeance.
Tree Man is tanky against arrows. He dodges with them, so he's actually probably going to be fine. But I don't think he really has anything versus Eltharion. So I think if I just use that, I should be okay.
Ancestors.
We're stopping up his Firebark Elders specifically
We will obey.
because... Ooh, pretty nice arrows of Chronos. But yeah, they have a fire resistance aura that'll make him way stronger versus my Sisters of Avalorn. But anyways, he dumped a ton of money into these trees.
Forward.
Sisters of Avalorn kind of just bully him. Eltharion's doing okay. We're gonna have to push up to make sure the skirmishers don't bully Eltharion though.
Shadow
But he does have some solid stagger animations
Moving out.
that should help him out.
to the fray.
Big shot on these trees. There we go. And yeah, I think we're gonna start bringing in the spears. Seems like they are going to be a solid option here. Unfortunately, my Phoenix can't really get that much done here against these trees. Sisters of Avalorn, they're doing their best. Okay, pretty good, pretty good route on one of them. Eltharion shall escape, probably.
My vow. Azorian
Just gotta make sure, yeah, it's not a Firebark Elder in the way of him. It's a little awkward, but I think he'll be okay. And just like that, your boy Eltharion escapes. Overall, trading-wise, it's a lot better than you'd expect based on this because the game's not really tracking trading value super well. But we've already routed off 2 trees. That's gotta hurt, right? That's gotta hurt real bad. And with another Sister of Avalorn showing up, I think he's just gonna get shot to death with no cavalry support or anything. This is going to be a rather difficult battle. His skirmishers are not really going to be able to do much either. Look at those dryads though, trying to make a sick play on me. But with all my ranged units here firing into them, it's gonna be pretty rough. And the Phoenix bomb drops away. Dryads are weak to fire, so it does do a little bit of extra damage. Eltharion should just terrorize them soon, all going well. And second Sister of Avalorn is online and operational. So that's going to be a whack-a-load of pain coming his way. The skirmishers are not really doing too much still. They're just too warded off by my range units here to really contribute. Let's get another cav unit in here to make sure he doesn't cav spam me. Let's get a volley on these guys. Good dodge though. Okay.
Azor, advance.
A few more dodges like that, and it could be a little sus. Time is also of the essence too. I can't just dilly-dally here. We have to actually. We gotta make plays. Plays like this. Big volley on his tree man. If we can kill his tree man here, that's a huge loss. That's a massive loss. So it's really all hands on deck to focus fire him down. He just attacked, which means that this volley should not miss. And boy, does it not. Tree man goes down and he taps out. Solid game. Yeah, the Sisters of Avalorn were a good choice indeed. It turns out Sisters of Avalorn are kind of hype. God dang. Yeah, I knew he was going to bring Tree Men, though. I knew he was going to bring Tree Men. GG's. Redeem the hydrate. Thank you. Dude, double sisters. Mm-hmm. Hella value. Do you consider High Elves your favorite and main faction? No. Empire and Kislev are way more fun for me. Oh, you're using a bad target for your long rifles? Rip. Yeah, this seems like it's pretty rough for Wood Elves. He says that he has other strats though. He has other builds. So maybe there's like a crazy Zote build or a Cav rush or something. Maybe there's like a 6-minute no push build. Thank God Shadow Warriors don't have magic attacks. Oh my gosh, annihilate even harder. It's just straight pin cushion this guy. Waze Soccer got some pretty good value, bullying my one sister of Avalorn, I must say. Interesting. I really wonder how a Cav Max will do against us. How many, like, you know, Wild Riders and Cavalry units can he take? I did have a Spearman in here too, so I really wonder. An alternative is maybe like pure ranged. But that just dies to my cavalry. I don't know. I think the only thing you can do is try and just fight the High Elves in a Kite match and just may the better Kite player win. The deeper the unit, the better the Hellblasters will perform. Makes sense. It's an accuracy thing, right? Well, nice. Hey, Yasko. Oh my gosh, another 70? Thank you so much, man. You've been giving a lot of support.
Okay,
Listen to this. Nurgle Cav Max.
Nurgle Cav Max.
Okay.
Cheapest Kickoff. 1 to
You have
2
my
Nox
attention.
Bringers.
Cheapest
some rot
Kugat.
flies. Rest Cav.
1 to 2 Nox
Possible or
Bringers.
too expensive units.
Some Rot
Smiley
Flies, the
face
rest
emoji.
Cavalry. Okay, so you're talking Nurgle Cav Max here, right? And a Kugath. So the Kugath is your centerpiece. The cavalry make sure that Kugath doesn't get shot to death. Let's take a look here. Yeah, you can't take 2 Noxbringers. I'm assuming you mean Soul Grinders. Okay, so Kugath and Soul Grinder. You got ultra cheap Kugath with like you know, just your well, you gotta get Pestilent Decay, right? That's his Mortis engine effect. Gotta get Children of Nurgle in these 2 spells. Cheapest Kugath is still almost 3,000. Okay, and then a Cav Max would look something like this. You take one of these guys and one of these guys. There you go. So you have a starting army of 4. Then you take a couple Rot Flies. Nice. You have yeah, you have the rest just cavalry. Some horsemen. Dude, yeah, Kugath is expensive, man. Now, he's a beast. I think Nurgle would need a little bit more cheap cavalry, though, to support these guys. Rot Knights do a lot better with support. Might work as a build-up build. No, because you'd still get overwhelmed, right? Rot Knights need support. This is why usually most builds have 1 Rot Knight, and because Nurgle doesn't have good cavalry options outside of Rot Knights, you spam like Pestigors. That way the Rot Knights can kind of romp around. And Pestigors are good enough at shutting down range units. Yeah, this would be much more normal. You still have a lot of cavalry, but yeah, I think you can't really play Nurgle without it. Alternatively, you do this with all 6 skirmishers. I wouldn't mind a Nurgle build with, or all 4 skirmishers. Yeah, quad skirmish Nurgle build is not bad. Time for you to take off your rock Lee weights and show us how it's done. I already did that in the grand finals, where I played a whack load of Slaanesh and just sweat lorded it. Yeah, but this build does not fill me with confidence. You could totally make Chaos Knights work. Let's see. Yeah, if I just play really well, right? You know. Oh god. Even if you so if you take Nurgle's cheapest cavalry, you have 5 units still. Okay, my bad. If you take Nurglings, you have 6 units. Nurgle doesn't have cavalry cheaper than 1400. Now, I'll accept Plague Toads as maybe cavalry. Alright. If you go for Plague Toads, you can go all the way up to 8 units. It's pretty interesting. 65 speed cav. Can someone explain to me why you wouldn't pick Lance Cavalry? Because it's even more expensive. They're not bad though. Lance Cav is great. You can't go wrong with Lance Cav. Very high shock damage. But the unit needs even more babysitting. If you want factions that run Lance Cavalry, go see Kislev. You want cavalry in that 80 charge bonus range, Griffin Legion are where it's at. Cheap, have lots of support to keep them safe, and they do 1,000,000 damage. That's what you want in your Lance Cavalry. Empire with the Knights of the Brazen Sun, not a bad option either. Though most people don't take them, because it's still a little overpriced. But Lance Cavalry is really good for winning cav fights. But boy, do they need babysitting. They're a really high skill unit. You know, Bretonia. You see Lance Cavalry with Knights of the Lionheart. Kind of similar are like Royal Pegasus Knights. The only person I've ever seen make Royal Pegasus Knight work is Charix. So Charix has the wherewithal to keep these guys safe and to make use of their incredible damage. He just treats them like a glass cannon that he never drops. And they do great. Knights of the Realm. Knights of the Realm, yeah, also pretty good for your cheapo Lance Cav. Yeah, there's lots of Lance Cavalry in the game. Cold One Knights. The Cold One Spear Riders. Although technically they don't have the charge bonus of, you know, your typical Lance Cavalry. They have bonus versus large instead. So kind of different, but it's basically the same, okay? Where you don't see them, though, is where they cost like 1,400. Lance Cavalry really start to cap out around like 1,200. Beyond that, it starts getting a little sus, right? You see it with High Elves, Dragon Princes, they're a Lance Cav. Start getting pretty expensive for a unit with less than 7,000 HP. Pegasus Knights are like Bretonian Ripperdactyls. Yeah, they're better than Ripperdactyls. They have that ward save and probably better leadership. High Elves might get a new type of mage called Mist Mages. I think they can cloak units. I hope it lasts longer than 30 seconds. A 1-minute cloak ability would actually be pretty hype. I think you see it on the Archmage. They have a 73-second cloak ability. That's crazy. Compared to the Skaven cloak spell, Skitter Leap, that lasts 25 seconds, it's almost triple the duration. I don't think people are saying this cloak ability is OP. It's actually used sometimes to snipe artillery pieces to get into the back line and just get a sick burning head. It's a fairly short cooldown too, doesn't use Winds of Magic. Technically, you know, this would be worth like 10 Winds of Magic if it was a spell. But Skaven Cloak gives speed? Yeah, my bad. It's true, it's true. Yeah, there's something about CA, they really undervalue Rampage, and I think they overvalue speed, maybe. It's why Dwarven Rune Magic still sucks. Where's it at? Where is my wonderful Dwarven Rune Magic? Yeah. When was the last time you see someone cast Rune of Speed? I don't think I've seen someone cast Rune of Speed in multiplayer in an actual match ever. Actually, I don't think, maybe when it came out, I did some gyrocopter shenanigans with the Rune of Speed, and that was it. And then it's done. Rune of Speed, my beloved, why? Like, this is the only way dwarves can get speed, too. When was the last time Rune Magic in general was in domination? Rune of Slowness has always seen play from time to time. It falls in and out of popularity. Rune of Negation, too. I swear, someone saw the damage resist lasting so long and they, like, freaked out. But dwarves are a really grindy faction. This would be pretty good on a lot of other factions. But also the cooldown is massive. You get to cast this, like, 2-3 times at best in one battle. That's not a lot. That is not a lot of time. People just go for a Rune of Wrath and Ruin because you can spam it. And then its damage got nerfed, so they stopped using it. Also, yeah, percentage based, and gyrocopters have a capped movement speed. So you can't even use it on gyros to, like, abuse them harder. Although I did for a time, it was not very effective. Alright, how's the bracket forming up? I'm thinking I'll be a solid 4th place. 4th place right now, Oishi and Danikan are playing. Fine by me. Let's see here, who else? Okay, yeah, nah, we made it. We made it to top 4, hell yeah. Yo, the speed boost on Slayers is really hype. It just doesn't last long enough for the Slayers to catch anything. They get close, and then they slow down, and then they get shot to bits. If the speed boost lasted, I would say twice as long, you would actually have some pretty terrifying speed boosted Slayers. Yo, flat increases are where it's at, man. I would love boosts that boost, like, your weapon strength by 5. That would be really interesting. Kind of like campaign banners. Because then you have some units that it's really good on, and some units that it's really bad. I think buff spells especially. If you don't want a buff spell to only be used in the single entity fight, don't make it percentage based, make it flat. A unit of Empire Spears would benefit insanely from a 5% armor piercing boost. Or, I mean, a 5 armor piercing boost. And you can make it last way longer. You know, if you're really worried about, like, Occam's Mind Razor being OP for single entities. It'd be really cool. And there's ways you can balance it. Imagine if dwarves had a rune that made them taller and the gunpowder units could shoot over dwarves. Yeah, that'd be sick. The rune of step stool. And then they just kill everything. Okay, nice. We're still 4th place. Pontim's Claw. Oh, okay, so Pontim's Claw is... Okay, no, they don't have any wins. We're good. We're good. Tariff is still bullying Norska even with the update. It's Tariff. What do you expect? He's been bullying Norska for years, like literal years at this point. I don't think he's gonna stop ever. He's gonna have you know, 100 years into the future, he's gonna have videos just on automatic upload for YouTube. Just BMing Norska into the horizon. Yo, a dwarven height bonus though for range units would be pretty sick. But I don't think it makes sense. I don't think there's a dwarven rune that makes it taller. Gigafication. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, make a Slayer giant sized. There you go. Maybe he'll actually be able to catch what he wants to kill. Yo, rune magic that gives your melee units ranged attacks. They kind of have that implemented with lords, but that's about it. Alright, top 4 incoming. Let's see it. I would love to make it into top 4 and hopefully clean up shop. I wonder what Oishi's playing. So Oishi's playing Warriors of Chaos, Wood Elves, Beastmen, Demons of Chaos, and Lizardmen. Not too terrified about most of them. If I'm playing High Elves, honestly, I should be fine. Troop transport. We're getting medevac drops. Can we do tankovac drops where you load up your cannons onto a thunder barge and you just like pick it up and drop it back down? Think about the skill expression. All right, one more match. Come on, one more match. I'd love to see you play High Elves versus Turn Stinky Boys. I think that's a really easy matchup for me to throw. If I'm going for Shadow Warrior Kite, he can play it like Korn, where he just sends out way too much armor for me to actually kill. Unfortunately, Shadow Warriors do not have armor piercing damage. 18 and 4. Very low AP values. So, and like I'd have to kill Rot Knights too. So it's not even like Minotaurs. We're talking regenerating cavalry. I don't think this build would work versus Turin. I don't think so. I think I would have to spam White Lions. And then go from there. Go for White Lions and then, I don't know. Can Sisters of Avalorn survive versus the Nurgle Tide? His cavalry would be spooky indeed. Yeah, Nurgle would be kind of a pain in the butt. I think the only thing I can think of right now off the top of my head is like a max single entity build. You go like Eltharion. Like what we saw while I was playing Korn, right? Eltharion, you know, double Phoenix or something. Right? And then you just kill their lord and then you snipe out as many targets as you possibly can. Alright, advancing the top 4. Finalize this year tournament. Go over here. And all going well. We should have made it. And we did. Alright. At Danican. Danican. At Sipa. At Oishi. Bracket is up. Alright. Yo, yo. I'm High Elves. So who is he playing? Dark Elves. Hell yeah. Just High Elves versus Dark Elves again. And it's gonna be on what? Jade Tomb? On Jade Tomb. Interesting. So this can't be that bad. I have a pretty nice win rate versus Dark Elves. Can't be that bad, right? I don't know how good Eltharion has been in the Dark Elf matchup. But you just can't go wrong with Eltharion. You just can't go wrong. He's too hype. I just have to be a little wary is all. Do I want anything more than Apotheosis? Do I need anything more than Apotheosis? Probably not. Is he gonna Cav rush me? I feel like a Cav max build really just comes down to the Cold One Riders. As long as I don't die to a million Cold One Riders, I'm pretty sure we win this. Although, let's not get too confident. There are some Dark Elf builds that do pretty well. Was there anything I was missing last time? Elithanar? Nah, he's not competitive. He's not even in the viable tier, unless maybe if he's sniping lead belchers. But, yeah, I've never really seen a build that makes good use of him. And it's kind of because he just doesn't really bring anything to the table. He's like a Marcus Wolfheart with no abilities. Imric versus the Dark Elves. I think he's too expensive. Eltharian's Mistwalker Barrage strats are just better. Alright, so Dark Elves. They have cavalry. They have a lot of ranged archers. Man, is there really anything I'm worried about here? Okay, yeah, they got some spear boys, I guess, but I can manage that. That's pretty chill. Cavalry front is fully secured. I don't think I'm losing the cavalry fight unless I royally screw up. Yeah, I think I just have a good build. Oh my gosh, yeah, this build is sick. Alright. If I lose this, then there's a gap in my knowledge, or I made a crazy misplay. I guess that's how it always goes. But like, I don't think it's a faction matchup situation. Like, elves versus ogres might just suck. I think elves versus ogres is a high chance of just being garbage. But elves versus dark elves, or I throw Eltharian, yeah. The classic. I've thrown Eltharian before, though, and won it. Here we go. 2 more games, and then we're done for the day. Ready for the weekend. I'm looking forward to a nice staycation weekend. I have no plans. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. I'm gonna sit my butt in this chair and play games for the next few days. I'll put out some videos later. I think I might do another viable units guide. The video didn't get that many views, but it is like really easy to produce, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. I have like 1 million comments for this video. Very, very kind words from everyone. So like, you know, it's might as well for the people that really want to get into multiplayer, especially because I'm not getting sponsorships right now. Yeah, so I'm not really getting sponsorships. I don't really need consistently high viewership. And putting out videos like this doesn't actually hurt viewership from my other videos. So I think we're good. No plans, best plans. I know, right? Yeah, the guides are fun. The guides are fun, pretty easy. And it's long form content. So like the revenue is actually fairly high. So like this video got 3,000 views. I made $8 off of it. If it takes me, let's say the video takes me like, you know, 30 minutes to produce, it's not bad. If more people watch it, better. But yeah, it's like fine enough for where I am right now. It's also fun. It's also fun to produce, which makes it a lot easier. Technically, if it only takes me 15 minutes to make the video, then we're balling. If I can make that video in 10 minutes, I just rush through as fast as possible. Then we're balling, right? You know. If I make it in 6 minutes, I can make $80 an hour. It really is pretty easy to make, though. I just sit down and I talk about the factions units. Oh boy, looks like my opponent's ready. You've cracked the code. Yeah, just quantity over quality. Okay, actually though, like actual YouTube strats, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make really high quality videos, because it's not about the ad revenue at that point, it's about the sponsorships. So if you get 100,000 views on a video, right, you can get sponsorships that'll pay you like 1,000, you know. Like they can pay you like $1,000 for like a 1 minute bit at the beginning of the video. Right, or more. It can be a lot more too. So like, you know, like while the video might only make you, let's say the video gets you like $800 worth of ad revenue. Could even give less, right? Let's say it gets you like, let's say you get 100,000 views. Yeah, let's say you make $500 off of that. The ad revenue is like double, right? It's huge. But I don't really know what my niche is for Warhammer well enough to pull that off. So like Legend of Total War and Zerkovich, right? You know, they can get to that 6-figure range for viewership pretty consistently, so they can get those sponsorships. For me, if I only get like, you know, the one some odd video, they don't really trust me enough to give me the sponsorship handouts. But I'll get there eventually. Legend seems pretty sure of it. It fills me with confidence. By the way, here's my build. So the Rangers are going super long formation. This is a very powerful strategy to capture this point as fast as possible. And then we have these guys over here with fire at will turned on. Gonna turn it off actually, so I can make sure the shot hits. And as long as I don't throw, I should have a pretty decent fight against Dark Elves. I did start with my Dragon Princes here. I'm going to spam heals on them, because they're really the only thing that can kill elite cavalry. Yo, Canadian milk bag sponsorship. What a niche sponsorship, though. A lot of my viewers are in America. I think 44% of you are in America. If everyone in my chat flips a coin right now and it lands on heads, it means you are an American. That's how that works. I think the rest are, it's pretty heavy European mix.
Shadow warriors. Penance.
All right, here we go. What's the tariff on milk bags? I don't think they're buying milk bags, man. Do Americans, are there any like Northern American states that use milk bags? Is there any spillover there? All right, come on, ready up. It's just 16 units, man. It ain't that complicated. No, dang it. You're from BC and stuck in Ontario. Bag milk is an atrocity. Yeah, it's not even a full Canadian thing, is it? It's very localized, the bag milk industry. I don't think they'd pay me that much for a sponsorship.
Without fail. It shall be done.
All right, come on, man. Come on, it's 16 units. Just ready up. What's taking so long? And he's ready. Let's go. All right, give me that sauce. 4, 4, 4, 2. There's 2 units that are stealthed.
We have a victory point.
We have a
Take it
victory
from the
point.
foe.
It must be taken from the foe. He has a burning head. It's fairly dodgeable.
We go.
I just have to be real careful with these guys. Burning head can be brutal.
Lasso forward.
So he knows I have a kite build. He has a bunch of chariots.
Quickly now.
I can make it hard for him to dodge though.
We have a victory
And I just
point.
gotta not waste
Keep
my
it from the
shots.
foe.
Ammunition is at a premium here.
Silver Hound.
Come on, I dare you to get closer to me. I dare you to get closer.
Acknowledged. Azure, attack. I follow my
Oh, okay.
pace.
That's actually a pretty good dodge on his part. It's such a close range shenanigan. Gets an instant burning head down the pipe.
Moving out.
Oh, God. I'm walking right into it. God, that was a massive burning head. Holy moly.
Onward.
Well, that's pretty brutal. I think that was overcast. Yeah, he turned it away because he knew I was going to be retreating.
What I go.
Hopefully they rally, though. I can actually heal them up. It's not the biggest deal in the world. But yeah, I'm probably gonna need to spam some Rangers for this situation. At least they rally though, and Burning Head doesn't kill entities. So as long as I don't eat a second Burning Head down the pipe, I should be fine. His bolt throwers aren't doing that much damage anyways. Yeah, no entity loss. It looks a lot worse than it is. I just have to be a little wary here. Eltharion can actually go for a little bit of a Lord Snipe too. And these Rangers are exquisite for this situation. Yeah, that's right. You better back up, lady. We just gotta push it back, keep summoning in Rangers and soften them up. And dodge with Eltharion like a madman. Eltharion can't afford to take too much damage here. Takes a couple hits though. I do still have a double cap, which makes life a little bit more comfortable for me. Let's get another volley in there. And just keep spamming Rangers. As long as he doesn't get a nasty Burning Head on me, we're okay. He's also burning their ammunition, which means less for the Dragon Princes later. Oh, he is actually targeting one of them though. That's a little painful. We actually lost a couple entities. And he's kind of rearing up for another Burning Head. So screw that business. I'm backing up. Eltharion, you keep dodging. Value-wise, it looks like it's really high for him, but shouldn't actually be, because it's not tracking skirmish damage. Although Eltharion's definitely taking a lot of heat, a lot of uncomfortable damage. But like, you know, I gotta use his HP for something. It's not like he has a Hydra to fight or something. So it's honestly fine by me. Killing off the spears means my cavalry can dominate the battlefield too. That part's pretty comfy. It's just gonna keep on dodging. Oh, he wants a Burning Head. You can see it coming. Ah, Dark Riders? Yeah, Dark Riders, okay. Gotta be real wary of that Burning Head. Gotta be real wary. Man, those bolt throwers too. Really bullying Eltharion. He really doesn't like Eltharion, it seems. So as long as he doesn't die this battle, it's fine. Are you gonna do it or what? You gonna Burning Head or what's the plan here? I know you want to. I know you've been itching for it for ages. My micro with Eltharion could be a little bit better too. He's taking some huge damage, but I got the capture points. Ouch. And there's the Burning Head. Okay. Hits the Rangers, but not my skirmishers. That's fine then. I can live with that. Rangers survive. Nice. All right, here we go. Who are we shooting today? It's almost like he's trying to kite me. It's interesting. It's almost like he's trying to kite me. Well, I still have lots of heals. Just keep dodging, my dude. Just keep dodging. Eltharion's doing his best. He's gonna have to desummon his chariots and artillery pieces soon. I do have spearmen also. And if I just soften up all of his guys, that's gonna hurt him pretty hard. Yeah, there we go. Because he can't really desummon them, right? If I full kill them, he can resummon them, which kind of hurts. We're getting to the point where a single cap is actually fairly comfortable for me, though. So that's going to be pretty rough. My healing magic is putting in the work right now. Most of his infantry are super beat up. Let's get another volley over there. Let's dodge with Eltharion. So what, is he going to desummon his chariots, or is he going to try and land another sick Burning Head on me? He baits out a shot. Actually does take a bit of damage from it, though. Rangers against Dark Riders, okay. Okay, so we can dodge by moving upwards here. That's not a big deal. Eltharion does have another heal. Rangers against Dark Riders in the forest is fine by me. It's definitely an advantage. And now, yes, and now he's going for the big push. So what are those? Dark Riders, okay. Also not a big deal. Rangers are doing fine, and he does desummon them. Okay, that's a crazy maneuver. So he does want to desummon his boys. All right. Well, I definitely have time to play around here. Right? He doesn't have a lot of tickets, and that's going to hurt him quite a bit. His Dark Riders look like they are getting caught up. Just goes for a light push, but now I have space to continue the kite. We'll see how effective his artillery pieces are here. Thank goodness I decided to spec into Rangers too. The Rangers are paying dividends right now, man. They're getting so much work done. Let's see if I can get a Lord Snipe potentially here. If he's not ready for it, she takes a lot of heat. And boy, does she. There's a swift charge into his guys. Gets the burning head off. I kind of botched my dodge there, but it only hits one unit, maybe two. That should be fine. And now we have a defensive fight over here. There's a Cold One Knights in the forest. Really interested to see how that pans out. It's all about keeping these Dragon Princes alive. If they can just fight the Cold One Knights effectively, without dying, I think we win this battle. But boy, those guys are going to need support. Rangers are doing fine, though, at least. And there's the heal on my cavalry. Countercharge the Cold One Knights. And that should be a pretty nice engagement for me. Honestly, I'm not too worried just yet, except for maybe this Cold One Knight on the flank. Whew. Big use of his passive, though. So the passive triggers right now. And that means that all of his units are going to be performing way better than they usually would. I'm kind of stuck in the melee grind, too, so this could potentially be a game ender. I don't think there's any retreating in this situation, aside from maybe just the raw cavalry numbers. Eltharian's gonna need a heal. There we go. And he does have a triple cap. Cold One Knights should be able to get a shot in on them. Yeah, okay, so they get bullied a little bit. Value-wise, it says it's terrible for me. And let's get a charge over there. Ugh, Dragon Prince is kind of dying, though. Can't really afford to let the Dragon Princes die. This is a good catch, though. How much time do we have left? 36 seconds? Okay. If I can keep these Dragon Princes alive for the late game, I think it's not as bad as one might expect. Especially because we won this Cav fight on the left-hand side. It's definitely a lot of big routes. And the Dragon Princes, yeah, they're alive. Okay. And there goes his passive, too. Lack of passive's gonna hurt him. Lack of Eltharian's gonna hurt me, though. He has to live. Get out of there, man. Oh, God. Eltharian routes? Brutal. Honestly, he might have me here. The bolt throwers. The bolt throwers for the slow grind. Paying off. I don't have any white lines or anything here. Cavalry's kind of suffering. This is potentially an oopsie-doopsie loss. Mostly, I think the big play was getting that passive trigger. If I'd been able to trigger it earlier, I think I would have been fine. Very nice Dark Elf play, though. Exceptional Dark Elf play. Let's see. I'm definitely just running out of units right now. Let's see here. Maybe if I get a Lord Snipe, though. Hey, like, I still have time, right? Time is on my side. Potential Lord Snipe going on. That could do really well. She gets a burning head on a couple units. It's but a handful, though. Okay, there we go. Dragon Princes are back. And I have a few units in the back line. Okay. You know, it's not impossible for me to come back here. I'm going to have to get a lot of work done. But definitely not impossible. Cold One Dread Knights, though. God dang, so many Cold One Knights. I really have nothing for the Cold One Knights. Do I? This is such a menace. Let's see, we'll pull back over here. I feel like maybe a Buna caster would have been better than Eltharian. Dang. Yeah. A little bit too much. A little bit too much. Even if I get a D summon here, I don't think they're doing it. He's like all the way in my back line now, yeah. The Rangers just couldn't cook. Well played, well played. GG, well played. Dang. It was more than I just got stuffed up. I couldn't even like up trade against them. Stuffed up is more like a down trading strategy. But he ended up just up trading there. The big problem was probably the Dragon Princes getting caught was really bad. Eltharion really had nothing to do. If I had a Buna caster, maybe I could have just Buna'd a lot of his elite cavalry. And yeah, the bolt throwers worked. So he bought bolt throwers for the anti-kite. They paid for themselves, for sure. A fun match, very fun match. I'll have to think about how I deal with these guys in the future. Definitely, the cavalry is the biggest problem. It's like High Elves do really bad against cavalry and shielded fighters. Most of his infantry didn't do that well, though. But despite that, my Rangers just couldn't cook. High Elves don't really have the greatest infantry. I honestly might even just want to cut these guys. Lobby code, please, and spec slot for finals. Yeah, let's take a look-see. So, he didn't have a lot of air control. He didn't really need air control, though. But is there a way I can punish that? You can just take a spellcaster. Just take like a, you know, a random spellcaster and just fly above them. You can probably get a lot of work done because he really only just has the chariots. Yeah, on an eagle. So they're pretty fast. The chariots camping directly underneath is kind of rough though. Maybe a phoenix. Phoenix bomb drops are okay. They don't actually do that much damage. Dang. The High Elf's kind of finicky. I wish I had like an artillery piece, man. So the difference between that and like if I was playing Empire into Dark Elves is I have like the Sunmaker. I can just Sunmake his face and then he's dead man. Honestly, it was really well played though on the Dark Elf side. Very well played. I think he definitely played it better than me. So he was dodging a lot better. Whoopsie daisies. Let's see here. I gotta join a spectator. Alright, here we go. Light Wizard with Ammontalk. I think you can just dodge it. It's not bad as a punish. But I still don't have a way to deal with his artillery pieces. A Burning Head caster is a hard maybe if he's gonna spam only Dread Swords and or Bleak Swords and Dread Spears. Because then you can Burning Head and while he's dodging you get some shots off. Be funny trying to hide your identity while messaging your opponent on Discord. Let's see. Other options is you just go full rush High Elves, but I think you die to the Cold One Knights really hard. The other matches, I noticed that it was fairly close. Even with my opponent's misplaying. So it makes sense that if someone plays it really well, that we'd lose it. Let's see, how do I want to manage that? I think his build is pretty strong against a normal rush too, I'm pretty sure. Unless he brought both bolt throwers in the start. But because he brought one in reserve, there was no punishing him. So you can just see if I'm going kite and then take the bolt thrower. The second one. I think Light Wizard Ammontalk would have been nice for the slow grind. I could go for... let's see here. Could take lions to run down artillery. Well, I don't think I'm ever catching his artillery. So the biggest question is, how do you win the cavalry fight? That's the biggest question. In times yore, you would have your regiment of renown, the dragon princes. I didn't babysit them as well as I should have. What's this about Imperial Guard Basilisk? Is that a new unit coming? Skirmish cav? No, not enough armor piercing. Lions also no. Let's see here. Eltharion is one of the main tools to kill cavalry, but I think you can kind of just ignore him most of the time. And the addition of the Cold One Dread Knights means that he's not spamming Dark Riders. So he clearly knows the matchup. It'd be pretty jokes if I took my own artillery, though. I take my own artillery to just also poke him down and force him forwards. I also need to trade units out earlier to trigger his passive, but there's a lot of killing that needs to go down before the passive triggers. Buff spells. Let's see here. The debuff spells. Plague of Rust. He has too much armor, though. Too much armor. Against someone who's playing it well, I guess I could take, White Lions are like a hard maybe. If White Lions can uptrade into passive triggered Bleak Swords, maybe. Flaming Sword for the magic damage. The sweet, sweet magic damage. Would only work versus Doomfire Warlocks. Man, there's got to be something, though. Charax can't win with High Elves so much without having something in the back pocket here. It could just be I need to work with my cavalry better. I really threw away my Fireborn. So I lost like 1,000 gold on them by having them get surrounded. If I play much safer with them, it could work out well. Can Alariel pick her tree dudes? Not anymore. Have you watched the replays? What are they taking? Charax? Not versus Dark Elves. Usually Charax has... his best playstyle is Waystalker Kite. Or, no. It's Shadow Warriors. Yeah, his best playstyle is Shadow Warrior Kite. So Charax is really good with that. Usually when he's forced to take other things, it gets a lot more sus. But I've seen normal infantry line builds get played with like archers and such. Against Dark Elves, I don't think so. Not against the Mantide Dark Elves. The Spearmen are really underwhelming if you're getting infantry rushed. So I feel like more Spearmen's actually bad. You could argue they could fight against the cavalry, but the infantry would catch them before they catch the cavalry. It's interesting. I think I'm stumped on High Elves for now. I could play another faction come Monday, though. No score count? Yeah, we made it to semis, but we lost semis. I think the big question is, do White Lions uptrade in there? I think White Lions are a hard maybe, because a lot of that Dark Elf line doesn't have armor piercing. So I think that's the biggest question I have. If White Lions do uptrade, it's probably a good W. So interesting. We do see the Bolt Throwers versus Ogre Kingdoms. Ogre Kingdoms are very prone to just hard rushing here. I'm putting my money on the Ogres. So they have triple single entity and healing, right? Yeah, so the idea is White Lions can beat Dread Spears. And they'll probably do okay into Bleak Swords because both of them don't have a lot of armor piercing. But it's a big question mark if it's actually an uptrade because they're way more expensive. Anyways. Yeah, those Bolt Ores are probably going to die to these guys immediately. It's a Thunder Tusk and Double Hunter. Both Hunters have Loner, so they can operate on their own fairly well. The only way Dark Elves win this is if they can get enough cavalry to stop the Thunder Tusks. Once they're stopped in their tracks, things get a little bit more comfy. Scourge Runner Chariots can poke away. We have a interesting, okay, Piercing Bolts of Burning. What is this forbidden tech? Cascading Fire Cloak. Who's he gonna buff with that? Okay. And a Beastmaster with Tormentor Sword. Now, Beastmaster Tormentor Sword's really good, but it's only single cast. Bolt Doors position on the low ground. Since I don't have a timer, a delay on my stream, we're just gonna stare at this nice picketed fence. This is not on the mod, sadly. I'm putting the mod on back burner until my YouTube channel can, until I can grow it a bit more. I really want to, like, you know, refine the mod and push it. But, oh. Yeah, I really want to refine the mod and push it. But, yeah, I gotta get the channel going first. It's a nice fence. Goes a long way. Leads right past this ruined tower over here. Anyways, ogres. So they're going for the forest line rush. Dark Elves. They have the chariots. What will they do? Ogres can get a solid flank, but Cold One Knight surrounds are spooky. Armor piercing anti-large is pretty good. I think the Bolt Doors are really good versus like a Lead Belcher playstyle, but we ain't seeing any of that. Chariots are, he's using them for their ranged attack. So Scourge Runner Chariots have bonus versus large 40. That means that they do 100, or no, they do 213 damage, math, per shot against those ogres. Majority of it's going to be armor piercing damage. So they're pretty good there, and they have a bonus of being slightly good against Noblars. Master also has a massive range attack. 2 shots per volley. Showing up as 853 damage every 10 seconds. It's pretty spooky, and they're fast too. 84 speed to their 66. Tormentor Sword. So he's just trying to dodge with these guys. Very good play from Danikant Trop with the dodging, because these hunters do have range attacks, but as long as he keeps his chariots moving, they're not gonna take too many javelin hits. One sorceress gets hit, but that's about it so far. Front line moves up, and here comes Bolt Thrower play, doing pretty good versus the Bulls. Yeah, so his build really uses Bolt Throwers quite effectively. He uses them with a very strong melee front line and some kite units that typically will make it really hard for you to push through. Now, this Ogre Kingdom's build has 3 of these guys. They'll probably be able to push through the infantry. And I think this is mostly just going to come down to how well they do, right? He casts a... Okay. I think that was overcast too. Did not really do that much damage. Though I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So piercing bolts. A little bit of poke damage does stop them from healing. But here come the Lead Belchers. And they're gonna shred the Cold One Knights. They do have to get in range, but I think they're just about there at this point. One of the artillery pieces dismounted. The other one's retreating. Which means that they're not really getting a lot of damage. And yeah, this is the big problem, right? With High Elves, the goading play with the Reaper Bolt Throwers is nice because of a kite build. With Ogres, it's a lot more sus, though he's still trading out really well with some nice micro and positioning. His Bolt Throwers will be able to reman, but a Troll Guts has already dropped. And is there fire damage on these guys? Cascading Fire Cloak does not help them in the slightest. And it looks like the Thunder Tusk, oh, with the charge, barely stays in the fight. Sipa with some very good micro. As long as they're charging, they do get a leadership bonus. The loner ability is not kicking in for these guys though, because there are friendly units in range. So they don't get the massive leadership buff, but if they ever rout, they'll probably rally. Big charge over here gets wasted because this one gets routed off. But it seems like the Dark Elves, in this case, they don't really have the oomph to kill the ogres. Value trading, I don't know what it's talking about right now. I guess the healing on these Thunder Tusks is really making a big effect. But it seems like they're kind of dead. Piercing Bolts gets cast. Whiffs, but still gets a lot of damage in. But we're seeing a massive rout of the Dark Elf infantry. And if their passive triggers now, with most of their units routed, that'd be a pretty bad situation overall. Ogre Kingdoms have a lot of healing too, and you can see the value leads coming back in. Yeah, he chases off one hunter with a big healing cap, but he still has two massive beasts to take out, right? Blood Vultures coming on in. Can they get anything done? Pigback Riders are most definitely spooky. I'm really worried about that Dark Elf passive too. If it triggers right now, it's just over, man. The Dark Elf passive is the only asset he has left to make a swing play. So he's gonna need to get a lot of troops in, but like everybody's just dead, aren't they? Yeah, and the cold ones kind of got shredded by the single entities too, indeed. I really thought the cold ones do a little bit better. They're really good for holding. But does this hunter have anti-large? No, it's just anti-infantry. Impact damage is a beast though. And there it is. Oh, brutal. At the worst time possible. Everyone's routing or retreating or in a terrible fight. Dark Elf passive goes off. And that basically spells doom unless these cavalry units get some hella work done. Alrighty though. 12% damage on those Dark Riders. Charge on these ones with the Blood Vultures. They don't even care, man. Like, whatever. You got leadership. You'll stay longer for us to kill you. Massive rout over there. Value trading starting to get pretty close. Even the Sorceress getting chased down by the Thunder Tusk. This guy just plopping javelins into her back. And I'd say this is looking pretty sus. Although, a nice charge on the Lead Belchers. Will they make contact, though? Oh, my gosh. A pretty weak charge over there. They do get a little bit of damage in, though. So Lead Belchers will go down. This is a slow process to try to come back for the Dark Elves here. But a terrifying one indeed. Ogre Kingdoms still have a lot of meat on the battlefield, though they are starting to run a little bit low. Most of the value is still in their Hunter and the singular Thunder Tusk, right? Everything else is kinda, you know, it's just Noblars, right? It's literally just Noblars. Pigback Riders, come on in. Sorceress of Fire gets killed. I will say the Piercing Bolts tech is pretty jokes. Cascading Fire Cloak tech is pretty jokes, but I don't think he has the oomph. Even the Beastmaster is running away from the Hunter. The true Beastmaster has conquered the Thunder Tusk. This guy, what does he have? 2 horses? Not even close. And yeah, this is looking pretty rough. These are the 2 people that got wins against me, by the way, in the tournament. Very good play on both sides. Value on the Sorcerer. Oh yeah, I should check that after the battle. But at this point, Dark Elves have, you know, a fairly even trade, but the triple capped. Ogres don't really have to do that much to hold this. I think if Ogres play this smartly, it's almost impossible for Dark Elves to come back. And so far, Sipa seems to be really on top of his game. We got some Noblar Trappers coming on in. They're pretty nice with their traps to shut down cavalry. They have a ranged attack to clean up these spears, so I don't expect any down trading. Look at that. Tricks to traps have dropped in. It's actually quite a bit of damage. It's like, you know, a little over 15 damage per second for 20 seconds. It's a good couple hundred damage on these Cold One Knights. Did they get a value trade? Well, still taken. 267 value is not the worst considering how bad of a situation that was. And then they get dismembered by the ogre gods above. They just dismember them from who knows where. There's not a unit near them or anything, but so be it. And that means the Cold One Knights are going to be a little worse for wear. Can they still kill a Saber Tusk pack? Absolutely. They're charged. Armor piercing anti-large is great. But he's still losing the Cold One Knights. And that means it's about an even trade. And ogres love that at this point in the game. For sure, for sure. Have you ever commentated tournaments before? You know, when I lose. Typically when I lose. That way we get some really nice games. Yeah. I haven't seen Danican. He's in the Rat Clan, which means he might be a land battle player. A lot of land battle players tend to have really good micro too. So I would not be surprised if he's from the land battle scene. Very solid play, but playing Dark Elves against Ogre Kingdoms looks like it's a little rough. But yeah, I think I've seen them around a little bit. I've seen them around a little bit. Yeah, but they're definitely not like a legacy player. About half a year ago. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, this Thunder Tusk is doing pretty well. This guy, I think he got a vigor boost from the Ogre Kingdom's ability too. So he's actually not exhausted either. And he taps out. A solid match. I think it came down to the build though. Take a look at these bolt throwers. Artillery's a risky take when you're playing in domination, because if you get rushed down, you're dead. This composition would work great against a more melee infantry type of play style, but against Ogre Kingdoms, he kind of just went into a bad situation. Still played really well, you know. These guys, they only barely paid for themselves. This one didn't even. But, you know, Distraction Karn Effect strikes again. And they kind of wore down the infantry before they could get their passive. Sorcerer value, 300. Piercing Bolts is not the greatest tech versus single entities. I think, honestly, a Spirit Leech might have done better. Or maybe a slow on them. Then again, there aren't that many great techs for Ogre Kingdoms. They are quite magic resistant. So, yeah. I think, you know, maybe if he nailed it perfectly, maybe. But I get the feeling that Danicantrop kind of feels like this matchup is pretty rough. And he just has to try and make some sort of play. Or maybe this is just for a different build, like Lead Belchers or something. Lead Belchers? Oh, yeah, they were around for a while. 1700, amazing value. I think the Lead Belchers is what brought the value back. As soon as they showed up and started blasting, all the cavalry just could not really get a lot of teeth in. Like the first cavalry did great, Lead Belchers showed up, the rest did not do anything. Lots of Pigback Riders too. Good use of Blood Vultures also. I usually write this unit off, but he used them to stop the cavalry. And especially because Cold One Knights are anti-large armor piercing, they're not that well suited against them. And it really bought him a lot of good engagements. I should consider taking Vultures more. For sure, for sure. But overall, GG's. Very well played to both of these players. They earned their first and second place. And for me, I am going to call it a day because I'm tired. Tired. It's been a long week. I posted like 1 million videos. Maybe I'll put out a tutorial over the weekend. Keep an eye out for that. I'll be streaming on Monday. Should be very good. Thank you very much, Yazco, for the insane donations lately. Very much appreciated. And I'll see you guys Monday. Peace. Enjoy the end card. What? Look at that. A Caravthir end card. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Detail, man. Look at the coloring. Oh my gosh. You can tell he likes Cathay. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Actually, yo, it's insane. What the... Oh man, not bright at all. Sick. Amazing. I'll see you guys later. You just showed up. Rip Asp.